Welcome, Gtd and Henry in the booth this evening for what is, Henry, I feel going to be an exciting as we whittle down these final 23 to the final of the WPT Montreal online main event.
Yeah, man, a huge day three. You know, I don't know if you had the chance to scroll through the lobby before we went live, but I mean, you see the final players coming into day three and you just question, you know, how on earth am I ever meant to win a WPT? Some absolute beasts left in the field, obviously playing down to the final table today. WPT trophy up for grabs, and obviously on top of that, 447,000 USD. Let's go, James.
Yeah, we're guaranteed and a half at the moment. You see there Felix Schultz out. But I'm just going to quickly run through a few names. We've got Kenny Hallett, Rob Costisa, Ryan Reese, Diego Vera, Chris Mormon, Ultimati Roshan, Dan Shack, Ollie Shemian, John-Eric Schwipper. I always get that one wrong. You'll correct me in a minute. Chaz, anyone in the UK would know that name from a long time ago. Your boy Jack's in there, Jack Hardcastle, Pablo Brito, Pesh de Silva, and of course Felix Schultz leading the way. So it's pretty absurd the names we've got in the mix coming into this penalty.
Yeah, and James, obviously,
some might say.
Go on.
No, I was going to say some might say a bit odd. 23 players, penultimate day, but of course, 40 minutes now we've reached day three, so well down to the final 9, and of course, you know, they're going to be primes and ICM situations that are going to encourage players to play pretty snug towards the end. Also, I think.
Yeah, definitely, man. And, you know, the true professionals that we are, we always remain impartial in the commentary booth. But this was going to be tough, man. We got some good friends still in the mix. So I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
maybe we might be slightly biased today. Hopefully, people at home give us this one-off.
Yeah, I'll be Mormon's my boy, and I'm gonna my number 2 boy in here, Chaz Chat. I haven't seen Chaz for a while, but nice to see him in the mix. One of the nicest guys in UK poker. Those people, Henry, you have to search up and down the country, and you wouldn't want a bad word to say about either of 2 guys. That's what's nice when you're the nicest guys. But of course, all the sort of heroes in the field here as well. And I'd like the sort of romantic would be, obviously we got Pesh in the mix, Pesh with the silver, who had that little incident, should we say, with the with it recently, where qualified for getting COVID. So maybe there's a little poker justice to be dealt out over the next couple of days. I don't think Henry, there'll be many people who begrudge him.
Yeah, incidents, one way of putting it, man. I mean, yeah, that's running bad for you. Interesting spot here, straight off the bat, button versus big blind. Felix just deciding to not barrel his deuces, which, I mean, have some showdown value. Still ahead of, you know, the 9-7s, 9-8s, 8-7s of the world. But I mean, when we take that hand to showdown, how often a deuce is going to be good? I personally feel like a mandatory double barrel there, targeting, you know, Ollie's 6x, 10x, just applying up a ton of pressure. The ace rolling off the turn, but it does check through turn and river. Shemian taking one down with the 7s, and just scanning around the table. I mean, nice lineup.
Yeah, it's a fun run. We got Felix there, of course, chip leader with just under 20 million. You start with 200, so 100 stacks right there, and you've got Pablo and Jacob. Sometimes I'll just read these ones as they appear to me, and I'm a bit behind. Sorry, guys. Pablo and Jacob, 30 mil a piece, so 3 of the top 5 stacks on this table. Of course, that's left, so it's not that surprising, but just to see how that develops. And then, of course, Shemian kind of sandwiched in the middle with a decent stack as well. But you see, I mean, Henry, 8160 with the shortest stacks are like 20 blinds.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a WPT at the end of the day. You're always going to have the just amazing tournament structure. Potential double spot here for Daniel. Was he... Yeah, 15 bigs, effective, 8-handed, UTG +1. And we've got our boy, the guy that's been, final tabling pretty much everything, man. With the ace, queen, O from early position.
I just see in the chat, welcome, first of all, everyone in the chat. Nice to see you all with us from the start. And just want to quickly get the question about Alex Colonius, because I was looking forward to seeing him, but he did bust last night, 29th place for 14. Did Sam Grafton, who mentioned was kind of in the mix towards the end of last night's final. Yoni busting out 31st. We've lost some heroes just before the end of the day. But we have gladiators to the fore here, and like you say, Daniel's a pretty good start one, assumes here with the double up. I'm going to jinx it, Henry. I'm going to say he's going to hold.
Tough to jinx
it. I'm going out on a limb,
board.
Guys. I'm going to play. I'm going with the aces are going to beat the ace queen off.
As you mentioned, a couple of heroes. I believe Yodi is going to be joining us at some point, which is obviously always a treat. He put a post out on Twitter, and I told him the only requirement for him joining us in the commentary booth is for him to share at least one out-of-line Vegas story, which I'm sure he won't mind doing at some point today's stream. And yeah, Ike Hacks are going to be joining us as well. So we were joined by him yesterday for the Super High Roller FT. We saw the one and only Michael Adamo take down. Always a treat having Ike in the booth.
It was fun. It was fun for us to watch. It's not everyone else. If Adamo gets called, the field doesn't have much chance, and that's what happened last night. Caught a little heat just at the right time and smashed through the field like it wasn't there. I forgot, Henry, at the start of the evening I said something like, a long time, or if someone like Adamo gets a lot of chips, it could be. And then for once I got one of these things right. And sure enough, Adamo got chipped. Cards fell right, and he just went hard as against them.
Yeah, you did. You kind of called it. Because obviously Ben CB was chip leading. And straight off the bat, You were like, listen, man, if Adamo gets chips, it could be a quick final table. And we were sat there anticipating it to be a lengthy 3-handed play, maybe even like heads up play, and it was over in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it was like 200 big blinds in play. 15 minutes later, it's like 3-handed. Like we said, the card were right, didn't they? Fine flops to set. Ape Stars starts barreling off, picks up an open ender. Everything misses on the end. Kind of felt can follow through, and that was it.
Yeah, so 23 players go back today. For those of you just joining us again, everyone guaranteed 18,400. Could be playing down to the final table today, and obviously tomorrow we will be crowning our. Will it be our first WPT champion of the year, or will we be we'll be late by a day? I think.
I'm not sure what's going on in that. Yeah, I don't know where they're at on that one. Guys, listen quickly before I forget. Top of the hour, every hour, got our giveaways. 2 $11 tickets, 1 $22 ticket. You need to fill out that little Q&A. The link is in the chat. If you've done it once, that's enough. You did it months ago watching these streams. That's good enough. You're no need to do it again. But if you're new and you want to be on a chance of winning those tickets, we have to just fill out the little 4 minutes and you are eligible.
Oh, there you go, man. And don't forget, boys and girls at home, if your name is Henry Kilbane, you cannot win. You just cannot win. But for everyone else, you're in for a good shot. Milo saying, I'm here now at the Rock, 6 players left.
Ronnie Barder in the mix. Okay, I'm going to have a little look at this. Look who's in the mix. I haven't followed at all. Yeah, that's how bad I am.
James
Dempsey. Who's smashing away.
Really nice value bet from Jan after stabbing flop with the 8 high. Sorry, turning a pair of 8s, playing full pot. Daniel with a bluff catcher, no spade in his hand, no 4, no deuce. Some other potential hands that Jan could bluff with, although one would assume he would potentially continue barreling turns. Tournament check. Daniel deep in the tank. First tough spot of the day. Does make the call, James.
The bet check bet, Henry. On a ball that didn't really change. It just always goes to get paid off, it seems. Yeah, I'm just looking at the WPT now. Florida. It seems like Ronnie Barder's the only name I can really recognise on. It's hard to see the pictures because most of the pictures people are wearing masks. So it wouldn't be easy to recognise people unless they already had a profile on WPT, and it seems like most of them don't. So, yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on that one. Me. Here we go. Andy Huang, who's a Champions Club member already, chasing down second WPT title. There we go. Winner of the Borgata back in 2012-2013, second in Choctaw as well. So nice. 2 final tables before now. The worst he's done is second. So you can continue that run of form in WPT final tables. But that's not our focus today, Henry. Our focus is these 23 we have left. Oh wait, let's see bet King 6 deuce. It's going to be enough.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, James, still a few WPT winners in the mix today with these final 23 players.
Yeah. You put me on a spot. You put me in a spot.
I knew I'd put you on a spot. Head over to Twitter. Head over to Twitter, mate. It's it should all be there.
See, it's just, these people, you probably got like, you probably know what's going on Twitter and stuff. I'm just so bad at life. But,
it's alright, mate. It's alright. You just type Twitter into your browser and it should pop up.
Yeah, then it opens up and then I've got like, I don't know where to find tweets I know about and stuff. It's just too...
Yeah, then you type WPT into the search bar. That's the next step.
Guys, this is it. I'm getting my coaching. What they say.
So Ollie Shemian, Mormon, obviously, Ryan Reese, all still in the mix.
See, those
I
are the
believe.
best. Oh, what's it? A new Mormon and a new Ryan Reese. Not a guest, Ollie Shemian. I'm not sure if we had any other names like Pesh wouldn't have surprised me. Pesh had won a WPT. It would be not surprising because he just seems to like crush all the live American performance. $1 million in earnings for him lifetime. 400k is largest cash. So there we go. I mean, gives you an idea. Yeah. All right, his best result in a WPT third. All right, he's got a third, a sixth, a fifth. All right, he's been knocking on the door. We'll see a couple of bracelets. Henry, I mean, I know you've probably watched Pesh play sometimes. I don't play with him, but he's another one of these guys who he hammer pretty regularly. You know, he's pretty hard. He's a tough cookie.
Who, Pesh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pesh, obviously, a bit of an OG. Arthur with the cut-off open of 15, trying to get a sneaky one through, flopping best after being dominated pre-flop. Checks through on the 9-6 deuce rainbow. Wouldn't be surprised to see this turn go check. Not a turn card that Ollie wants to be doing a bunch of leading on, especially having this much showdown with ace-8. And again, wouldn't be surprised to see Arthur check behind for some pot control. Might stab small for protection. Makes sense. He does. And I guess this hand is over and done with, boys and girls.
Yeah, and look at Henry, because late last night we were just got Ike. Millions Online is the next sort of series one up, and we were alluding to the fact there were some missing from the event, as in there are some missing events still to be added, and Ike was suggesting there may be figure buy. And I can tell you, if you look at the Millions Online tab now, so those higher rolls have been added. So we've got a couple of 10k, but 2 25ks. And indeed a 100k mega high roller, calling this one. All
right.
For those of you who enjoy the high rollers more, we had the high roller on yesterday, super high roller. We do have some high roller action coming up, Millions Online. So we've got the super high roller and the mega high roller. I believe are on the schedule to be covered. And
so you won't be
late Feb and early March.
You won't be joining us for the mega high roller commentary because you'll be in the mix, battling it out.
Well, I'll just do both. As I win, that's how I roll. But of course, our focus will be this evening on this event, and of course tomorrow on the final table event. And we still do have, of course, the Mike Sexton Classic coming up next Monday. Final table of that, or final day of that being streamed. We'll find out for the month. So hopefully that gets a turn out, Henry, because it's like a little nod to the big man. I know, people are going to play poker tournaments because they're the value. That's the tournament, but hey, there's some good satellites running. I mentioned yesterday the 20-seat guarantee. You can see there's 28 registered for the moment. So people are aware of the satellites to get into the satellite. There's 20 seats, Henry, for a 10k event. That's a pretty cool satellite.
Yeah, I expect to see you in the 1k satellite into the 100k and do a Charlie Goldwyn. Not been Arthur's hand so far today, but this time the 4-bet jam getting through. I'm seeing great shape against combos, ace-10-0.
See, Jeff would have told him.
Jeff's had.
Didn't listen the first time round. He persevered with it. I mean, if you play the ace queen, you got to double down on it. That's what he did there.
Interesting spot for Diego. 20. I feel it's going to have a pretty wide range chip leader at the table. Apply a ton of pressure, but yeah, Diego just letting go of the ace-5. See if Daniel defends.
does. Both the pair, the kicker on the jack. So we can get 23 left.
Yeah, Daniel in a bit of trouble here. See, flopping middle pair, still ahead of the king queens, king jacks, suited broadways of the world. Could be tough to get this one to showdown though. No real reason for Felix to slow down on the turn. And I think having a club in our hand is pretty bad, blocking some of, especially the jack of clubs, some of Felix's natural double barrels. Yeah, some of those king jacks, queen jack, jack tens of the world. Expect to see this go check, bet, fold. Always level yourself though, James. Chip leader, pushing me about, middle pair, decent kicker.
Yeah. And I mean, in fairness, that's what the chip do. The chip leader is going to probably have slightly more bluffs here than everyone else. Like you say, Henry, you've still got to play the sort of fundamentals, and the jack of clubs works against us quite heavily. But it does stick around. Obviously, you're going to have some hand quite comfortable calling turn with and folding river. This obviously fits into that bracket. This is an easy fold should you fire a throw.
Yeah, interesting river for Felix. I think both options are fine. Putting Daniel in or checking behind.
Would you ever select a different sizing than all in? Would you go for like some really small bet?
I just don't think we have any other sizing, any non-all-in sizing here in Felix's shoes. +1 versus big blind on this ball texture.
Yeah,
Does go for it. And as mentioned, jack of clubs kind of play against us. Flip side of that, blocking. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about the turn call, personally. But hey, listen, Daniel's got much more experience than myself. Could have our first all-in call of the day here, James. Folds round to Jakob on the button with the ace-10 of spades after in the big 25 effective with the tens.
So I'm doing adjustment here, Henry. Readjustment. I've got my keyboard, my microphone the wrong way around. Throwing me off. I'm not in my game yet today.
You're good. Got Shifty Squirrel in the chat saying, just found this channel. Can't say I'm disappointed. Glad to have you, Shifty.
All right.
Smash the follow button.
Shifty. In that case, Shifty, there's a little link in the chat. I want you to click on it. Fill out the form. I'm going to try and give you some money.
James, the one guy you don't want to double up, just doubled up. Arthur with the 3-bet squeeze from the big with the tens, managing to find the hold. Jakob obviously with the fist bump, high five the dealer, claps all round, call the floor over before calling. And with the ace-10, just unfortunate to run into it.
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, Arthur took that hit early doors, didn't he, with the running ace-queen into aces. Now, then got a 4-bet through with ace-queen, gets that one. Now he's back above where he was to stop the day. And that's exciting, watching. For those who want to learn, the people at the table don't want Marty Roshan to have chips, but us watching, hey, it's great.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, great thing obviously about min opening there is Arthur's going to be jamming all of his king queen O's, king jack O's, suited broadways, weaker ace X. As I said, unfortunate to run into it. You get the old eye roll. Of course, he has tens off 25 bigs. Button versus big blind. Obviously today, going to have a lot of people at home watching the stream with friends still in the mix. Shout out to all you guys. Let us know who you're rooting for at home. We'll be switching tables throughout the day. Take a look at the other players left in the field. Felix with the complete with the ace 4-0 and A modern day cooler, James. Blind versus blind in a limped pot. Top pair against middle pair.
Yeah. Probably more so, Henry, when they're both so deep, because you can get more chips in. It's not like we're going to be playing for stacks in this one, but we are going to be seeing.
I was about to say, it would have shocked me to see Pablo raise here with middle pair.
And middle pair and undercard specifically, right, Henry? You wouldn't do this with like 9-jack, right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What a bit of protection against the 10 high, jack high, queen high, king high stabs. Although having said that, I'm not sure Felix always stabs with those. Having showdown with queen high, king high. But yeah, let's see if he follows through on the turn. 1.6 mil.
What in your mind so he's raising, obviously, naturally whenever you raise a vulnerable hand like this, you're obviously partly for protection, but what's the other, what are the reasons for doing so here? I mean,
value. I mean, limp pot, blind versus blind, got middle pair on a very disconnected dry board. Felix isn't going to have many ace-X that complete from the small. Obviously he's going to have a bunch, right, as he does here. And Pablo gonna lose an extra 500k, I think.
Yeah.
I think absolutely fine, like raising for value there with the 9 on this ball texture. Morris in the chat said, "Is that actually Henry Kilbane?" It is indeed. James Dempsey alongside me, as well as Ike, and I believe Johnny Yukamai are going to be joining us later on today at some point. James, there's a question in the chat. I'll let you answer that one. You want to give?
And you can get any black on again. Man, the guy is wild, very, very interesting. It's almost a waste having him on poker we talk about, because I think he'd far better. I think if I ran a podcast, if I was someone who had a post and I hadn't had Andy Black on yet, I'd be doing a bad job. Put it that way. I mean, how do you not get him on your podcast, Henry? If you've got,
I made the huge mistake of saying to Andy Black live on stream that you can't teach white magic, baby, and he was like, "But you can, Henry." I was like, "Well, I don't think you can," but he's like, "You can teach white magic." I was like, "All right."
I think Henry, by the end of it, I think you do it. Then I think he's an eye-opening guy. And I think
he is. I really enjoyed having him on.
He's just someone, if you find him on a podcast, listen to that podcast. He's just got a lot of fascinating thoughts, and so much been his personal life experience, and there's been some pretty and ups and downs path, and he's had his experience. So
yeah, he's one of those guys, right? That the new young guns of the world, like, you can say whatever you want about his modern day game theory, but the guy's an absolute legend. He's just got all the stories. He's been playing poker since before most of us were born. He knows a thing or two about this world, man, and it's like I said, always fun to have him in. Some more people in the chat. Frank said, "Come on, Jack Hardcastle, where's he at?" As we mentioned earlier on, we will be moving around the outer tables later on today. James and I will be keeping you updated.
You guys know how it works. We're going to change tables sort of every break. 3 tables in play at the moment, of course, playing down to the final. So when there are 2 tables, I'm assuming we'll be oscillating every break. But give a chance to see everyone. Starting this table makes sense, with Felix being the chair and a couple of the big stacks in the mix. You guys got a bet on board. I mean, that's not that much of a bet. I mean, it'll be a secret. I feel like whoever you bet against, you've got to number some with them.
Yeah, what's the line there, man?
Oh, Henry, I've had some movement on my guy who won't accept that Trump's president. That Trump's not president. He floated out a date to me today. He thinks he's saying he wants to pay me at the start of May if Trump hasn't become then. We're getting somewhere.
The start of May.
He goes, "I need another days." He's like from the end of the month. So basically, he wants 3 more, mate. Oh, Henry, let me tell you, this is more stress than it's worth. This bet.
All right. I mean, I don't like talking politics on poker streams, but isn't Biden in the White House already? Right, what more do you need?
The bet's pretty clear, but you know these QAnons, they get illusional. So I don't know.
An absolute pigeon.
I haven't committed to that date yet, Henry, but I'm fine if we're going to tomorrow. I mean, I didn't just say that because obviously that's completely illegal at the moment in the UK. You know. We're gonna. Actually, that's not actually because I live on my own, so I'm not outdoor exercising. So that's actually true. I'm not breaking any rules. I don't know. I get confused what the rules are. Going for a walk anyway. See if we can resolve the issues.
Well, James, without further ado, let's get away from the politics and get one of the best in the business to join us in the commentary booth, Mr. Ike Haxton.
We've beaten you.
Back with us. There he is.
Hello.
The Prince of Darkness. How you doing, Ike? How's it going today, man?
Good, how are you?
Very well, man. Very well. Super excited. Yesterday I was excited, but today, obviously, played down to the final table. I think more importantly, the winner of this event, going on the Mike Sexton Cup. I mean, it's a great start to the year. Can't complain.
Yeah, this should be a fun one.
And I mean, Henry, I always say this. Obviously, we got a first prize that's pretty much identical to last night, but I always say this. I'm gonna hash out every single time. Bar the odds player, the event are going to have a much larger percentage of themselves than the average percentage players have on semi-fight. So it's, you know, there's more at stake. 3K with a 150K prize pool versus or first prize rather than 25K that people have pieced out or swapped or you know events. The same money means more.
Yeah, 150 buy-ins is very different from 18.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously with the satellites as well, far more $33 satellites into the 3K than there are $33 into the 25K. So yeah, always great to see during these WPT events these stories of. I believe we had one in the chat yesterday. Someone in for $3 managed to book a min cash for 6,400, so a decent ROI on that.
Amazing, amazing. That's what dreams are made of. Quite literally. Like I was just mentioning, obviously millions online. Those tournaments are filled in the lobby now. 100K is there, ready for someone to go. You could be the first to register.
All right.
No, you know, state your intent. Like, get in there.
Yeah.
Man Illusion saying Shebian is a beast. Yeah, we all knew that, Man Illusion. Don't need to point that out.
Yeah, Unshook one. Obviously hitting the point you had that you know that pots are fantastic, and of course, guys, you know we've got to push these things because it's party stream, but they genuinely are. It's the core to the idea of tournaments on party is the satellite structure. It's very much important to Rob Young, and it's something he was always wanted, is the regular player to have a shot to play for big money, and that's always been key to his business. If you look at Dust Dawn, how it's always been run, how he believes poker should be. So the satellite structure at party has always been a very important focus, and will always be.
For sure, man. Interesting spot here, Ike. Thoughts on
this
Arthur's
is a
decision?
tough one for Arthur. I guess I would go with it. It seems like it's right on the border. I would fold 5s, and 7s does not feel particularly close.
And when you say go for it, are we re-ISOing, or are we just flat calling and then folding to the Jakob rejam?
I think it's too big a percentage of Jakob's stack to call and then fold. So it at least with 6s, you might be able to sneak in a call and then fold with. I don't know, maybe ace 10. Not many hands are going to be able to do it. And yeah, certainly not 6s. I think it plays
straight
too
off
well
of that
three-way.
hand. Ollie tried to get a sneaky one through from under the gun, and Felix, the chip daddy, with the dream squeeze spot, everyone's just going to think he's at it, but he's going to take this one down with the best hand, I assume.
That sure looks like what will happen, yeah. Depending on the size he uses here, you could see Jakob call. I think that is the most likely other scenario here, but probably not with that sizing.
Goes for the 6x. Ike, James Cooper in the chat saying, when I go to Malta, I'm literally happy using my entire holiday just watching you play on your computer. Absolute crusher. There you go, Ike.
Oh, thank you for enjoying Malta the same way I always did. No, I miss it there. Malta was great.
Yeah, I miss it as well. I lived there last year.
Oh yeah?
Wasn't the best time to live there, obviously, during a pandemic. But
Yeah,
I think
you
I'll.
were never there, were you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I paid rent on my property for like 10 months and maybe stayed there for a total of 2.5. I was stuck in like Miami most of the pandemic, Miami and Chicago, so burning
That's
a bit of money,
frustrating.
but Malta's a nice spot. I think I'll be heading back there at some point.
Cool.
And Stacks McGavin saying, is it wrong that I spend more time listening to your streams than spending time with my family? I don't know, man. I mean, It sounds like you've got your priorities in order.
I think
Can't
that
really
really depends on your family.
Yeah, there we go. Back on the same page. Yeah, like, yeah, I think it's perfectly reasonable. You can do their thing. Sit here watching poker this evening. Which is good stuff. All right.
Debs, it looks like we've had a couple of bust outs on the outer tables if you want to.
Yeah, I'm just going through them now. What have I done here?
We are likely to
clicking
see
the
a
wrong
big
button
pot
times,
here.
just like when I'm in. Here we go.
I think Arthur is going to fold 10-9 suited to a 3-bet.
In position 50 deep.
Ooh, hello. Ooh. Ooh. Some spice guy.
I don't know, we're probably just going to see this go in on the flop, right? Bet and shove. Other things
Right,
could
I mean-
happen, but that seems like a likely one.
Yeah, SBR 2.5. This just always finds its way into the middle, right? Oh, maybe not.
Apparently not.
Not now. Now, guys, the worst turn card, or what Arthur will assume is, certainly is this.
Yeah, I think that
Straight draw
will
fill in, diamond fill in.
likely let Arthur escape.
Yeah, I was wondering because Arthur's got he's got 2 pair and 9, but it's even then it's still sort of a scary looking board against a small blind 3-bet, is it not? In terms of getting the chips in.
Yeah, I mean, on the flop, I wouldn't have been all that excited about it, but I'd rather just get the money in before you see another card come off.
Is that just to do with turn playability and how vulnerable, the bottom 2 on that board texture is?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard hand to value bet on later streets.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, it plays all right. The turn is 7 or lower, and you feel very safe. The turn is a jack or higher, and it's really bad news for you. So, yeah, letting a card come off and going from there is also pretty reasonable.
Diego could
think
be in
just
a bit of trouble here, boys.
The fact
Sorry,
you're up
Nick.
against Ace Queen, Ace King so often, and Ace Queen can't fold, Ace King can't fold if it has a backdoor. So I kind of think you just want to put it in and get the value right away on the flop, but I could see that going either way.
I did just call, and obviously a pretty quick fold on the turn from Arthur. Still in.
Yep.
40 bigs. Diego with the check raise with bottom pair backdoor spades. Felix, I assume no need to pile here. Just always going to call Queen of Hearts. Going to have the best hand most of the time. Let Diego potentially hang himself with some of his like 7-4s, 6-7s of the world.
Yeah, I don't hate sticking it in right away, but I think call is the better play. Yeah, maybe if you don't have the heart, more exciting to just stick it in immediately.
Yeah, that makes a bunch of sense. Makes a ton of sense. Could we be seeing Diego go home here?
It's possible, yeah. Very clean turn. And you've left yourself less than pot to play with a pair, so you're gonna have to consider calling it off. I don't think Felix probably shoves here. I think he probably bets third or half pot or even quarter, yeah. I would not fold right away if I were Diego. I think for that size, you have to call and see what happens. You might go check, check, and you win. You might improve. You might call again, even if you do face the bet. Oh, he does let it go.
Let's let it go. All right. Now, Henry was obviously alluding to the fact we have lost some players. You can see their players left 19. I can tell you the likes of Kenny Haller busted out in 23rd, Rock Gostisa 21st, Ross busted out in 20th. Pretty big names. Biting the dust, as it were, at the start of day 3.
Having a look at the field.
As well, indeed, De Boer. Indeed. There you go. Ike, question for you. Which of the Germans do you respect the most? Obviously, there's a contingent of German-speaking poker players. Are there? Who are the ones? Who are the governors?
First one that comes to mind, I'm going to have to say Christoph. He's kind of stood the test of time out of that group, was one of the first Germans playing high-stakes tournaments, and of that early crop, one of the few who is still around.
Yeah, that's a good metric, isn't it, Ike? Because
yeah, in the early days
bad,
of the super high rollers back in 2010 through 14, 15, there was that German contingent of Toby Renkemeyer and Igor Kurganov and Phil Gruesome and all of them.
right.
A lot of those guys are not playing the highest buy-ins anymore. So yeah, Christoph really comes to mind. I'm staring at Ola Shemyan's name right here. Obviously, I got to mention him. He is another guy who's been around for a while and is still playing a lot of tough high buy-in stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. It's just test of time. So sometimes you'll see you do get in poker because there's a lot of luck, there's a lot of variance. You will get, I'm not saying people are bad, but you'll get a flash in the pan. You'll get someone who will run hot for a couple of years, and everyone's like, oh, but if you're still there a few years, it's a better indicator of.
But that Rankemeyer versus Scott Seaver hand is still to this day one of my favorite hands of all time. That is just amazing.
That is a crazy one.
Bizarre hand. Bizarre hand.
We lost Henry.
like we have. May. And I'm not going to lose Diego here. King, queen. Rifles this in. But yeah, that's crazy. Like that. The Rakamai ace hand, right? I mean,
yeah, it's so strange.
What do you think happened there? Was it just a case of it was the $1 million event? I mean, is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he just froze.
Just kind of situation was
that happens to everyone every once in a while, where often in a high pressure situation, but not necessarily. You just get fixated on the wrong things and think about a situation poorly and end up doing something that looks really crazy.
Right.
I don't think he would defend the play today.
No, of course. But it just goes to show, doesn't it? Even players that can happen, right? Like, that can happen. People watching
Absolutely.
at home, they've obviously played in. Everyone's played. By the fact we play poker tournaments, everyone's played in situations where they're outside by the fact you're on a farm table where you're playing for hundreds of buy-ins. It's what happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes you, for want of a better word, you melt. That happens.
Absolutely.
You just the best you. And there's no shame in it. It's a question of trying to obviously limit it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that is an underrated skill in poker, is keeping it together in the high pressure situations. You see people slip up in ways like that pretty often, and it's kind of easy when you see it to dismiss it as, oh, that just sort of happens and can happen to anybody. But in the long run, if you're somebody it doesn't happen to very often, that is going to make a big difference in your bottom line.
Yeah, for sure. Mine's here. Nice looking flop for Ollie, having flat from the Jesus. Felix, the chip leader in the tournament opening from the cutoff. Let's go for the small c-bet hike, just, I guess, trying to knock similar sort of hands from Ollie. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's
wide as well.
Kind of just trying to win if nobody has a pair, sort of.
Right.
C-bet. Be interesting to see if Felix keeps firing here and what Ole does if he does.
All right.
Obviously, you're never folding the pair on the flop, but it starts to become a pretty real consideration if you face a second barrel here.
All right, Felix can open every ace pretty much from the cutoff, right? With that chip stack.
Especially with so many chips, yeah.
It does check it back. And I guess, Felix, and the other point of that is, he's put the small bet out and flop in a three-way pot. For that reason, that it makes life tough for Ollie with non-pair hands when he does call a lot more of these type of hands, I guess. So.
Yep.
Just to kind of surrender.
Pretty chunky value bet from Ole here with
right.
the pair of sixes.
Right. I mean, what do we? Let's potentially some king highs, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean he's hoping to get
all the bigger pairs a lot, right?
Yeah, I guess Ole just has to be assuming he would bet again with those hands. I mean, unless I'm totally misreading what Ole is thinking there, and that was actually a bluff.
All right, Henry, you disappeared for a second, but we've got you back. To see you.
Yeah,
your
went
turn.
Sorry?
Your turn to have the gremlins tonight.
No, not at all. I just went to grab a refill. I've got to stay hydrated during these streams. All good.
Hydrate.
And are we being joined by Kristen tomorrow? Am I right in saying so, or am I wrong
Look at the
again?
sheet. I believe you're right. Oh no, I think. Let me get a minute now. I've got the sheet here. I'm gonna make sure this is right because from what I'm here, it looks like you're not with us tomorrow, Henry. Is that right?
I am with you tomorrow, mate. Are you trying to kick me out?
Well, I'm just looking at the information I've got, and it suggests it's Tony Dunce jumping in and Chrissy B with us. But again,
you've been fired, and this is how you find out.
Wow,
all I
live
know
on
is,
stream.
in all honesty, all I know is that I'm here. That's so. I mean, I have to really concern myself too much, but we'll get that right then, Henry, because I imagine I don't know. Could be wrong. Could be right. Could be four of us. I have no idea. You figure it out, Henry. Like, if you've been told you're here, then I'm sure you're here. So.
I'm pretty certain I am not.
Yeah, we can rule Ike out. We get 2 days. Mike is it's too much for most people. 1 day in a row for most people's brains, but we'll get 2.
Oh, what's up, Tree Poker? How's it going, my man?
I like all these people come in. They're all like, "Wow, Henry's here," and they're like, "Wow, Ike's with him." And I just don't get love. Now, I'm not that insecure a person. There comes a point where, I'm not sure how much more I can take. Where's the love, guys?
They're taking you for granted, James.
Yeah, it's just part of the furniture. Like that's what it is.
Yeah, when you're just a stable presence like that, you get taken for granted.
Yeah, I'll show them one day. One day I'll show them. I'm gonna win that 100k. Right, second pair on the button versus Felix from the big. Defending 6 off. This is like we're just not following anything. We're gonna fight hard with the chip lead.
It's not the worst hand. I don't mind that call.
Badinson saying, is Artur Martirosyan new to the high stakes? And I think he's like 23, 24 years old, I believe. I feel
yeah,
like
he's pretty young. I know he played his first live super high rollers early in 2020, like the Triton Sochi, or not Triton. I'm sorry, it was that super high? Was that whose event was that? It was everybody. It was Poker Central and Party Poker and Triton.
It was a nice mix, was it? Here.
In any case, in Sochi, I think Artur played his first live super high rollers just a year ago, and has been playing big online and doing quite well for, I think, only maybe like 2 years now.
You're right. It was the party, the super high roller series. We had the party with going on, but look at this hand, guys. We talked about blind on blind, cold decks, limping the aces pre, check back from Pablo, 10-9-5 rainbow. Top pair king here, and you get check raised by the chip leader. This is a big pot.
Yeah, Pablo's got to be liking his hand just fine here. Not beating all that much of Felix's value range, but some of it. I think he is going to be calling a big bet on the turn here, and going to be in a hard spot on the river if it's something pretty clean and Felix bets a third time.
Quarters on the turn.
Ollie kicking himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a playable hand too.
Feet open from under the gun. He might have met from the small blind. I think he's going to be okay once he sees us get the showdown, which it seems most likely now, guys. Brick on the river.
Yeah, I think we'd probably just see around 2/3, 3/4 pot here, and
Wow.
that's the timing glitch
That's
where he actually tanked,
Right.
and it showed us now.
That would have been a long time.
The old full time bank.
I'm picking up on that now.
Yeah, it's weird. The snap fold happen in the hardest spots, so it's
Yeah.
you
Yeah, that tricked me a
Some
couple
of the
times
banks-
yesterday.
Yeah, I think my guess is when it goes on it, I think it seems to bug out.
Yeah.
We need to see a couple of them a night, but a great fold though. I mean, just obviously very exploitable. Like maybe the opinion that it just doesn't think Felix is going to be in these with 19 left.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think the fold is too crazy. I don't think he is likely to beat a value bet for those sizes. Don't really think you're seeing that line with King 10, Queen 10. So, I can get behind a fold there, to be honest. I don't think King 10 is a much more mandatory call than Queen 10 or Jack 10 or 10-8, and I think you can sometimes find a fold with some of those top pairs. Even like optimally speaking, I think that is what the computer does. And
Right.
deep in a tournament here, yeah, very reasonable to make a bit of a tight fold there. And if Felix ran a big bluff in that spot, good on him, he gets it.
Yeah, fair enough. I see some of you guys asking in the chat about other stacks and the players. I can tell you that Hardcastle, yes, is still in. The counts, it's hard for us to show because we're obviously watching on delay and I don't want to give too many spoilers. The Felix here on our table, chip leader, and there are some other players chipping up nicely, but we're going to bounce around the tables every hour, so we've got a better chance to run the tournament. But again, it's just a little too hard to give you chip counts without actually spoiling the future big pots. I hope you guys can understand.
Yeah, for sure. And whilst Ike was wonderfully breaking down that, we had a 496 person raid from Bisa Poker. Shout out to all the guys joining this day 3 coverage from the Bisa Poker channel. Appreciate you guys joining us. Currently
Welcome.
19 left.
Yeah.
4 away from the next pay jump, 4K ladder. Once we're down to 15.
Yeah, more indeed. And he's nailed it on the head there. This is fun, guys. The business end of this tournament. Huge amounts of money on the line here for a 3K buy-in.
I think we're
wait,
likely to
in the
see this
house.
getting
All right,
on the
MJ.
flop.
Good morning. It's early for you in
Ace 8
Sydney,
is a
right?
kind of nice hand to bet with. Now he's going to go ahead and check.
Yeah.
As Pablo just has all of the King, Queen, Queen, Jack, Queen 10 from the button.
Yeah. That's all. That's a strange
This is
play.
gonna
That's quite a big bet with Diego having only pot to play there. You get jammed on here, and I guess you have to call it off.
Right, but if he's gonna not do anything in this spot.
Somehow Felix gets away, and
Right.
Pablo's getting it in against Diego. Or is he finding a fold here? I mean, maybe you can fold. I guess he does not want to.
Yikes. Diego with the double. Pablo with the slightly out of line play there, trapping himself in the 1.6 million.
Yeah, that was a
King
strange
high, no
one.
draw. Like Tree Poker says, not even a backdoor flush draw. It's true. It's give yourself some chance. If you know you got to call off against the big blind stack,
Yeah.
a little bit more of a chance.
That seems like a fine hand to stab with if you're choosing a size where you're going to fold to Diego. But if you're choosing a size where you're going to commit yourself, I would much rather use one of the gut shots or at least a King X with a backdoor flush draw. That doesn't seem like a hand you want to end up all in with there. That felt like a bad outcome for Pablo.
Yeah. Well, still more than. So there's 9 million in chips. Good spot to be. Blinds on 200k, of course. Going up, but they're going up slowly, guys. 40-minute levels. Day 3 onwards in this event. Well, there'll be no complaining about structure, Ike. They've got plenty.
No, these WPT main events on Party are nice and slow. I had the 1 deep run one of them, and it's a fun tournament to run deep in.
Polska saying not a lot of content going on right from this channel. No, it's been quiet just because it was December and, you know, people have family stuff to do and whatnot. It's just always the quiet time, isn't it? You know, we're not going to pump out then, but it's ramping up again. Obviously, the start of the year, we're going with this. We have on off in, just 3 weeks. We've been doing plenty of streams from that. So don't worry. If you're doing these streams, we have plenty coming up over the next month or two.
Tree Poker saying, I don't like betting there without the backdoor flush draw. Poker is alive in 2021. Alright.
Wouldn't quite go that far. I mean, poker is alive, but I wouldn't not have a quite that hard based on the one play. The guy's been doing right in poker. Well, we say yes. Did he win the Icon Online?
Results oriented, okay.
He won the Million in South America, right? And he won the Irish Open Online last year. So, you know, just be careful here. Lost one hand. I'm going to go on a limb and say even Ike's man got a hand before.
More than one or two, yeah.
You dusted in a few spots, Ike. We've all been there.
Have.
Felix flopping a middle set. Potentially a board that he could lead on, although I guess having the board so locked versus a UTG range and the cut-off flat calling range. Just want Ollie or Daniel to hang themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, especially having exactly this set, the 5s with the 5 of spades. I'd be more inclined to lead the set of 6s or the set of 2s or even the set of 5s. That doesn't include the spade, just because you are blocking things that you can get called or raised by a bit more than with those other combos. So, more interested in just checking and hoping to see if somebody will bet with nothing.
Obviously, great turn card for Ollie's range, in theory.
Right.
Yeah.
Felix loving life, blocking King Jack of Hearts. Always nice.
And interesting to see if we get a call or a raise from Felix here.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of hands here that are kind of weak that continue. In terms of weak now, the king on the board. Like, so he's going to have the 6x's, the 5x's. Does it slip as a nice
even
call
the
and then
wheel
let Ollie
gut
blast
shot.
again? He does go for the check raise.
Can't fault a raise there, though.
Of course. I wonder if that was just be thinking. Obviously, I mean, confirmation bias. We're seeing the jack high, but just a nice spot to perhaps let Ollie blast the wrist. As you said,
Yeah,
Ollie's
I would
got
have been
quite a
pretty
big range advantage.
call.
Isn't he? Same time though, of course, he and Ollie does have a hand like Ace King and ain't going anywhere, is he?
Right. And then, you get like a 3 or a 4 of spades on the river or something like that, and suddenly you miss out on your chance to win a big pot. There's definitely a case to be made for putting the raise in.
Man, I love Twitch chat. You guys. Always causing an absolute riot.
Daniel, Ace Jack. Opening things up. Claude, there you go, that's a good question. Let's throw things back to Claude asking how we thought Ben CB played last night in the 25k. I'm going to give it again with Ike, because Ike's the man when it comes to digesting these. I don't think anything stood out particularly, did it, Ike?
Well, the limping was
me,
pretty conspicuous.
The limping, sorry, yeah. Yeah, sorry about
yeah, that was unusual. I don't want to say it was bad because I haven't looked too closely at that sort of a strategy, but it's not something I would have done. I don't know, he produces lots of content from his play, right? It will be interesting, I guess, to see. I think he's going to put out a video or something talking about what he was doing there, and that will be interesting to see.
Yeah, I messaged him last night on Twitter, because obviously he put out GG's third for 180k, and I said that we were very intrigued by this 30-40 big blind limping strategy.
Yeah,
I would love to maybe do like a video reviewing some of those spots, and he confirmed that he's going to be putting out some content for that final.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Obviously, there are the obvious reasons. Obviously, he had a Damo on his direct left, had him covered, but I'm sure it's a lot more in depth than just that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be curious to learn what that about. And you're I draw.
Not a lot of good hands out there to this hand. I guess we likely just see limp check. I mean, our turn could raise. No reason you can't raise the 6-2 off. Oh, we're getting an open from Daniel. That should do it.
All right. Alfie asking for giveaways, ! win in the chat. James will keep reminding you guys every 30 minutes or so.
Yeah. Just giving away the money.
Big hands out here.
Giving away the tickets.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. There's big hands and there's the big hand.
Yeah, I wonder if Ole will get away here. Yeah, makes a little bit of a tight fold, and that's going to work out well for him.
Diego's only sizing is jabbing here, right?
I mean, do we flat? Is that
I mean, you could try to get away with a small one, or flat is allowed.
Yeah, I love it. I love the flats. I love the trapping. Felix is going to get a nice price now.
Yeah.
If you're going to go into the pot with
at
kings.
least calling, he could squeeze.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
I was about to say, if you're going to play a three-way pot with kings, you 9, but it's a lot fairer a fight now.
Certainly is.
Oh boy. See, obviously a few spades dead, but I mean, this just surely finding its way into the middle. 18 bigs effective for Diego.
Yeah, I don't know that he has to raise immediately, but it seems like a fine play for sure, especially when you don't have the diamond. Yeah, that's probably what I would have done.
one of those high equity spots with 19 left.
And Diego Holt.
Nice. You would have been scared. Playing those cards. Back in the game. 8.6. Under 200.
Diego, another one of those guys that seems to have stood the test of time.
Yeah,
He's
really
you guys last time about it. Yeah. So like rail here when I was 17, 18, had all the like the Central Americans going crazy in the chat whenever he was running deep in these $200 comps. Oh, Dempsey, you're getting some love for your dance moves at Mormon's wedding. All right.
All that. The Mormon wedding was quite the wedding. The Mormon wedding, yeah, nice.
You cutting it up on the dance floor with the Mr. Roboto or whatever it's called. The robot.
It was just that was a fun evening. It was a fun few days. The Mormon wedding. They ran bad. Let me tell you this: the one time Chris has run bad in his life, Haiti, it was their wedding day. They were going to get married on the beach, beautiful in Santa Monica. So it's just off the World Series, so we're like talking July, and they managed to find a day where it just slammed down with rain all day in July in LA. So luckily they managed to get it moved inside, and yeah, it worked out a great day. Great deed. And more still in the mix here, guys. 9th. My boy Mormon. He's going to win one.
Chris Mormon.
Felix just fine the flops. And now with obviously a lot more chips, guys, but I'm here with second pair and backdoor spades.
Yeah, Diego, not going anywhere right away. Pretty standard little 30% pot bet. Could go bigger in this spot, but this is a fine play too.
See, that's 7 of clubs. No interest to Diego. But
interesting to see what size Felix chooses here. It's a nice spot to put in an overbet. I think that would be my favorite play, is maybe 125%.
Because we've got
something like that.
The jacks are nice to have the overbet. Like we kind of block the gut shots, so we unblock pairs. Is that where?
Yeah, and just it's a pretty dry board. You want to put in a lot of money here.
Might sound counterintuitive, but is it better to call with King 5 than like King Queen, King Jack here? Just unblocking some of Felix's double barrels.
I think probably not in this case, because making better two pairs is going to be a thing. Felix has King 8, King 7 himself pretty often. And additionally, he's going to be betting big on the turn more often with Ace Queen, Ace Jack than Ace 5. So I think you want the big kings for the most part here, but I think you're going to call a good bit with all of them.
That makes sense.
But I think King 10 or better is going to have, King 9 or better is going to have substantially better EV than King 6 or worse.
In a very bad river, therefore Diego can beat hands like that and Queen 10 potential. Obviously, can't beat them anymore. Does let it go. He's going to feel a little bit like, I think, we saw the hand before he peeled with 8 for big, had to fire to the turn barrel. This one he calls down flop and turn, folds to the river barrel. He played a little bit. Is this guy just blasting me with a chip lead?
It does make it easier to take when you know it's going to be on stream in a little bit.
Yeah. It's so true. Ollie, 10-9 diamonds going to pop it up. Artur. Oh, just... Oh, pardon me. Okay. Yeah, Artur.
Artur opened. I called.
Ollie peels in position. Flops the floor on Jack 6.
For max entertainment value, King of Diamonds would be a spicy card to roll off on the turn. And Felix with what? Final 7 average? With 19 left, thereabouts. Looking good.
Yeah, he's got very nearly as many chips as the rest of the table combined. 40% of the chips on the table anyway. Interesting to see if Artur calls or raises here. I think raising is a pretty reasonable play, and yeah. That's something I think that kind of distinguishes some of the stronger, more computer poker, game theory oriented players is finding these thinner raises on paired boards. I think you'd expect a lot of people to only call
I'm one of them.
One pair and raise bluffs or trips, but I think that's a good play Artur made there. But it does put you in difficult spots on the turn river.
Picking up some additional.
Oleg could stick this in. There's only so many combos of flush draw plus straight outs that are going to be the best candidates to jam here, so he does call. That's an interesting
the diamond
river.
You don't want.
I wonder if we might just see check now.
Big pot gonna go Ollie's way, unless Artur can somehow get him to fold, which is extremely unlikely. Yeah, it does go check, Ike. Ollie up to 10.5. Tree Poker in the chat with that classic Abraham Lincoln quote: "If you've got a straight flush draw, you're either going to heaven or hell." I remember I was there when he said that. Classic, that one.
Oh.
I'm sorry, boys. I just love Twitch chat. Me and Twitch chat have got a weird relationship that we have for about 3 years now.
Seems beautiful.
Blind here, guys. Ace 5 of diamonds, king, queen, off, subjective.
Could see the limp raise jam from Daniel. Artur makes it like 650.
Alright, I mean, it seems the most likely, doesn't it?
I might prefer a call with the ace-5 suited here. Kind of counterintuitively, I think in this spot it can be good to call the suited ones and jam the offsuit ones, but this is obviously a fine play. It's a good hand, and he's getting all in for 20 big blinds.
And Artur spikes. I say spike like it's some mad outdraw, obviously. It's a reasonably fair fight. And
yeah.
Daniel down to 2 mil. Artur, but again, these guys are like, come on, we're out of here.
Joe the Mush saying, is Jack Hardcastle still in? Anyone know? He is indeed. It's on one of the outer tables. Obviously, mix things up when we get back from a break.
Yeah. We're about to go on a break, guys, and come back fresh table for you. Obviously a little bit easier when we're down to the last 2 tables, then we could just see everyone hour by hour, but for now 3 tables means, of course, we are missing some action. Them the breaks. So ace 10 of diamonds.
Could see Pablo stick it in here, or he could just flat.
Right, I mean,
I think it's a pretty close decision.
And Diego's taken 2 lumps out of Pablo already. 2 double ups. Pablo's got again. Really? Here he comes again.
Yeah, either play seems fine here. Kind of comes down to how much you think Diego's opening.
Ooh.
It's an interesting flop.
Flop.
I assume we mostly see a bet from Diego here, and almost always a call from Pablo. This is... can't really fold, and not a very attractive one to raise.
Right. It's not about playability, right? Like for these post-flop, given the backdoor draws.
Yeah.
The 9. I was wondering if there for potential with the hand as vulnerable as 2 3s and the pairing, but let's check it. Diego
Feels
buying
like-
again.
Yeah, it feels like a sticky turn card to continue barreling on.
Right.
It depends how often Pablo's raising the flop with top pair. If you expect he's mostly going to raise with a 9 on the flop, and that seems right to me, this is a pretty safe turn. Like, I would feel comfortable continuing to value bet with pocket 6s or whatever here.
Okay.
And even ace 4. Yeah, I like that bet.
That gets it done, guys, and that takes us to the first break of the evening. So please don't go too far. Myself, Henry, and Ike will be back in 5 minutes. More of this, the WPT Montreal on main event.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, it comes 10-7-6, the Stone Cold Nuts for Seidel, and top set for Seth Davies. Chan, by the way, is a gut shot and a backdoor nut flush draw.
Davies so under-repped here with 10s, just flatting pre. Recognizes strength immediately for Seidel to be continuing on this sort of texture after being called in 2 spots. He knows that Seidel has either A, connected, or he does have some sort of overpair, potentially a flush draw.
Davies just calls.
Now Seidel wondering, all right, what am I up against? What does Seth Davies have? Is it a hand like 10-9 suited? Could it be as good as a set? Maybe even a flush draw. This is where, once again, we are going to see high-level combat
on the turn.
See Seidel shutting down. All right, terrible card for me if I am up against a flush draw. Flip the script now. Davies wondering, well, did Seidel make a flush? And he's trying to go for it with a check raise. He does have the 10 of diamonds, so he can remove that sort of holding from Seidel's range. Can never have 10x of diamonds making a flush.
Bet is 300K from Davies. Seidel is 935K behind.
Really difficult spot now for Seidel.
Does make the call. About $1 million in this pot. Reverse the Queen of Spades.
Could we possibly see another set go check here on the river?
A quick check from Seidel.
If Seidel had pocket jacks, that got there. Potentially, queens got there. Obviously, we know all flushes got there. What exactly are we trying to extract value from? Even a hand like Ace-King with a diamond, that is now home. Sort of run out could save Seth Davies. Let's see what he decides. You can see there's $1 million in the pot with only 630K behind in Seidel's stack.
All in.
Davies is going to go for it.
And this is absolutely sick. Seidel just doesn't love it, thinking, what am I up against?
Right.
He would never shove 2 pair, right? I do believe this is at the bottom of Seth Davies' value range here. My goodness, could this work?
Seidel does make the call, and Seidel will double up.
Guys, welcome back. World Poker Tour Montreal online main event. Joined once more, of course, by Henry Kim and Ike Axton as we work our way down towards the final table this evening.
Let's go. All right, so a couple of people before. Go on, man.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say a few people before we went on break were asking for the final 19 players. Obviously in the mix, aside from these 6, we got Chris Mormon. See, this is the problem, James. You're better than me when it comes to pronouncing names, and I'm about to shoot myself in the foot here by trying to do this.
Yes.
You gonna do it? Yeah, you gonna do it?
Giannis
Go on, James.
Constant. I'm gonna go with
Daniel Olishebe, Diego Ventura, Marcel Kunz, Alexander. I can't see the full name. Dan Shak, Andrei Krajev, Ryan Chamis, your boy Charles. What's Charles' surname?
Charles Chatter. Chaz Chatter.
That's it.
His name is Chaz.
Jan Eric Schwipper, Jack Hardcastle, Upeshka Silva, Yeka Miguel, Artur Martirosian, and who else we got? Chris Rudolph. I mean, Chris just has. He's always running deep in these, right? Am I thinking of the right guy? Rudolph? Always in the mix, battling in these ones.
Christian Rudolph, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in everything lately.
Yeah, Hurricane asking Dan Shak's in this. He most certainly is. Shack Attack. Not just in, but doing well.
Nice.
Diego opened the last hand. Felix root in on him. Not shy though, goes for the next hand, opening up Queen 9. Flicking him from the big with King 8. And guys, we have done the giveaway As this hand boys are down, I don't think anything too untoward happened. I'll let you know that the winners are the $11 tickets go to Queen of Diamond and Scunner. And I remember saying the word Scunner, so Scunner's gone on 2 nights in a row winning tickets, so congrats to you two. And Crystal System 9 is the winner of the $22 ticket. If you are talking about, well, just fill out in the chat there, fill out the link, on the link in the chat there, and you'll be eligible for these giveaways. Who knows? We could turn that into. You could turn it into an evening of getting absolutely obliterated with Ike Caxton on your left. Really lucky. Dream.
Alright, looks like we lost a couple of players.
We have
Lost a couple of players.
Well, you just blocked Mr. Chris Rudolph by mentioning how well he's been done out in 19th, and I am sad to say I'm heartbroken. I'm absolutely devastated. That out in 18th place.
Oh, no more Mormon.
Chris Moorman out in 18th. The two are picking up, of course, 8,400. Next pay jumps at 15. Yeah, yikes. No moo. The Mooman.
Listen, he can't win the ball, James. I mean, come on. He had a very good end to last year.
Give me a minute, all right? I need to
compose yourself.
Obviously, guys, we're in a delay, and Chris texted me a little while ago and I got shacked. So Dan Shack, recipient of the Mormon chips. I don't know.
You not got a hand history for us, Demps?
No, I'm gonna leave it up to the imagination. See, Chris was flying last night when we left the Super High Roller Final table as one of the chip leaders. I was watching for a bit after we went on, and he got unlucky. It's a pretty big all in as a favourite, and then ran a couple of these things go that way sometimes, and kind of clearly didn't get it going today. But that's what happens, even to the most experienced of online tournament players, which I think would be fair to say Mormon's in that conversation. Been crushing.
Yeah, not many people have played more online tournaments than Chris Mormon.
Yeah. Man, he's
oh man.
Yeah. The drive that you to still be putting in that volume after song is very impressive.
Yeah.
I was about to ask if blocking's ever a thing here in Arthur's shoes, and he's gone for the 15% block.
Ola has a kind of nice one to stick in a raise here. Yeah, where he just folds. That's obviously fine as well.
Alright, so final 2-table bubble. As soon as we lose one more player, down to the final
the pay jump
tables.
The pay jump comes at 15. It's a small pay jump, but it comes at 15. When there's 2 full tables, it makes more sense to have them, when you've got even numbers, of course.
I can't wait to be James Dempsey rich. Like last night, he was calling a 6k ladder a small pay jump. Now we're calling, a 4.5k pay jump a small ladder. I just can't wait to be that rich where, I'm looking at the final 3 tables of a huge event and be like, it's only a 4k ladder. I'm all in.
Well,
God, leave some for the rest of us.
Henry. Give it time, Henry, and you'll get down to this kind of bankroll. Super Banana asking, does the final play out tonight? It does 40-minute levels here, so it's obviously a long evening as it is, but the final table will be played tomorrow, and you better watch it right here with us tomorrow evening. But we are just getting out to the final tonight. Yeah, was saying earlier, 40-minute level. I mean, that's just an eternity online.
Yeah, that's a really slow
It's
tournament.
gonna get-
What's that the equivalent of? Like a 2.5-hour live clock? 3-hour live clock?
Oh, I don't know. a couple
I
hours
don't know
maybe.
that it's quite that big a difference. I think a typical live tournament around 20 hands an hour, and online, I doubt you're getting 60, probably closer to 50.
Yeah,
So-
so like 2.5 X or so.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so like
I
a
think
80-minute clock or something.
part of that depends on the tournament and stuff, yeah, right, as well. When you're mostly going to be heads-up pots, people playing pretty shallow. You know, hands are going to play the mechanics of the hand are a bit quicker. You know, if you
Right,
extrapolate to,
sure.
like, heads-up matches, obviously loads more. So it's hard to pinpoint at this point.
Yeah, there's quite a bit
But
of
it's-
variability. Something like either day one or near the money in a big main event, you might see quite a slow pace of play versus like a high roller with a shot clock.
Right.
I think you might get up to 30 hands an hour.
That makes sense. Claude asking if Alex Foxton is still grinding the high rollers. I believe James mentioned yesterday that he was down at the Aria playing the 10K to
Win.
25K. The win, sorry, that's right.
Win,
Yeah.
the win 10Ks. The row, he
Right.
came second, first, because that's what he does. Probably,
Interesting spot for Ollie here. 2 overs, jack of
wonder how much-
spades, gut shot.
Ooh,
Wow.
even a more interesting spot now.
Okay.
I wonder how much staring juice Alex Foxton used up by coming second, first in those 3. It's got to take a lot of energy to stare at people for like 3 days. Intimidation. Ooh.
Ollie gonna get paid here, I assume,
Right. I mean,
unless he gets really greedy. There it is. Goes big, around about 80% on the river, and a call
Yeah.
from Artur at the lower end of the straight.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not really trying to value bet any lighter than a king there, and Archer has a pretty good hand to call with.
Yeah, Ike, you used to have this different kind of stare. I remember watching you in some of these nosebleed live cash games where your stare would be down at your watch, I believe, for some randomizing, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I've never
What,
worn
they
a
just
watch. My usual approach to randomizing live is to shuffle chips, and I kind of treat the chip like it's a clock face. I pick like a point on the chip that will be hand of the clock, and I'll peek at the chip and use that as my randomizer. But I may have been looking down at my chips to do that, or I have never been much of a starer. Maybe early in my poker career, like back in 07, 08, 09, a little bit, but I don't think it works. I think observing your opponents is important, but staring them in the eyes is not the most effective way to do that.
That makes okay. Each to their own. I believe we're gonna be losing you, but before you go, one last
All
question
right.
from the chat. Hurricane saying, who in your opinion has got the best poker face? So go on, drop us that bomb.
Best
and then,
poker
well, there you
face.
go.
I got to go with Phil Ivey.
There we go. Well,
There we
Ike,
go.
obviously a pleasure as always. It's a shame that we can't keep you for much longer today, but hopefully
Yeah, thanks for
we
having me.
won't have you in the booth for the millions. Hopefully we'll see you battling it out on some of these big FTs coming up.
There we
That
go.
sounds good to me. I will do my best.
Let's see
Alright,
Ike smack 100K. All right.
Oh, there we have it.
What a legend. And what a legend that man is. Have him in here. Yeah. I feel like when you get someone in the, you just got to try and sit back and listen. You just got to let him do his thing, you know?
So true.
Like, I mean, you said
I
it best.
remember James. Go on.
I was saying, you said it best yesterday. You just get the note, you get the pen out, and it's the way you go. You're getting an education.
I mean, I remember when it was me, you, Ike, and Jason Kuhn in the booth, and I just messaged the guys behind the scenes. I was like, should me and James just like jump out and let Ike and Jason just cover this, because there's just zero need for us to be here. And I remember me and you were just letting them do all the strat, all the talking, and then Jason was like, "No, you guys need to stay for morale," So,
Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
that's pretty crazy. I was gonna say Ivy, but I didn't want to obviously jump the gun. I wanted to see what Ike said, and yeah, I mean, Phil Ivy just has that intense stare.
With Ivy, you've got, it's just the whole aura around him as well. It's into the poker face, just the everything, it's the complete notness of it. It just doesn't care. That's the image you get when you play them. I don't really care. Like, you don't try and read care. What are you gonna do? Like, what? You just, it's remarkable.
Yeah, I've got a few Ivy stories. I think that that Nick Schulman one is still just the best to date, man. It's just such a gangster story.
It was the massage and the chip or something, right? Was it the?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So basically, they're playing like a 1500 WSOP by an event, and Schulman was getting a massage, and he wrapped up. Didn't realize he didn't have any cash to pay the masseuse. I think it was something like $250 bill, and Ivy's on his table. He says, "Hey Ivy, man, do you mind if you get this, and I'll get you back?" And Ivy's just handed the masseuse a 5K chip, and turns around to Nick Schulman and goes, "We good for 5, Nick?" And then Nick just replies, "We're good for 5." And it's just like how gangster Phil Ivy is. Oh man, I'd be so tilted, but then at the same, like, you're playing a 1500 buy-in. Ivy just gets you for the "we good for 5," gives the massage lady a $4,700 tip, and then you're in the hole for 5K to Phil Ivy. I mean, come on, man.
He's an absurd human being. Absolutely absurd. I mean, there's so many stories. Obviously, the Ivies will be around. I mean, there'll be a book written one day about Ivy, and it'll just be a must-read even for those who've never heard of him. For most outside of the world, it'll be this is insane. This guy is one of the kind of greatest gamblers, not just poker, but just gamblers in the world.
Yeah, I think all the guys in that circle will agree with that. Him, Dan Smith, a couple of those guys, just really good gamblers. James, it looks like we're not going to be a duo for too long. You look over into the group chat. We got our man, Johnny Ukamine, ready to join us.
He's ready. Johnny, there he is.
Hey, man.
For deep run of the very event.
Yeah, I'm sad not to be there anymore, but it was a fun run.
Well,
always brutal, man. But yeah, we obviously get to have you in the booth. How was it, man? How have you enjoyed this festival so far?
Yeah, it was a good one. A lot of good tournaments. I decided to skip the 25K, which I wasn't sure if it's. I didn't feel like there's too much value for me, but I played pretty much all the other like 1K plus buy-ins, so it's been good. Yeah, I managed to final table the 5K, got 7th in that one, and yeah, 30th in this one, so can't complain.
Nice, man. Nice. And are you going to be taking like a week or two off now and waiting for the online millions, or are we just grinding all the way through?
I think that's the plan. Yeah, take some days off now, focus on golf and tennis, and yeah, then be fresh for the millions.
Nice, man. Nice.
Okay, I've got to ask, Yoni, where are you if you can focus on golf? Because it sounds like you might be
I'm
at
in
home.
Finland, yeah.
Okay,
I'm not
but
gonna play outdoors, but there's plenty of indoor practice facilities,
okay.
so some trackmen practicing and so on.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna ask. I was getting jealous.
Have you
there
been
for a
working
second.
on your
Cool.
golf?
Man, the clothes can't do a thing. It's torture.
Right.
Whoa!
Oh, boys.
Diego calls the check jam on this flop, guys. I was thinking at the time, look, just went for kind of a weird, just a check rip with top pair in the flush, but Diego calls it off with the 2 jacks. So I'm again, didn't really too much thought. So of course it makes sense, I guess. Ends up,
Yeah, really interesting
giving
spot
his
actually.
back.
Like,
Yeah, and with Diego jamming 2.5 bigs here, yeah, wow, opens the door for Daniel to rejam the ace-9. Yoni, we're getting some questions in the chat for you straight away. We'll get to them in a minute. We'll just sweat this one, and then we'll let you do the talking, my man.
I'm ready.
Wow, that's one way to do it.
back in it.
Still has a
Double
lifeline.
ups.
And James, looks like we're down to the final 16. So we have Dan Shaq and Rehan Chamas join the table. So one away from that 4K ladder. And just,
Yeah.
I mean, what? 7 spots away from WPT final table. So
Yeah, of
Johnny,
course.
Michael in the chat saying, here we go. We've got Johnny in the commentary booth. I obviously messaged you today asking about some out-of-line Vegas stories. Michael asking for some Ilari Sahami stories. We're not going to put you on the spot straight away, man, but whenever you're ready, if you just want to share,
Okay,
you know.
I'll do my best preparing some sort of stories. I feel like these Ilari
Amazing,
stories
man.
are always being asked.
I mean, are you surprised? Are you surprised?
Ooh, some hands here. Felix popping up ace jack, Ollie with 9s on the button, and Rayan with kings in the big blind. A great hand in a squeeze spot.
Yeah, I think Ola is gonna
Ola's
be
gonna be a
in
tough
very
spot here.
spot here, for sure.
10's a fist bump back jam, and then 9's are kind of close, I guess. 8's we fold to the squeeze.
Something like that, I think. Yeah.
Curious to see if, yeah, Rehan does go for the 3-bet squeeze. I was just curious to see off 40 bigs whether he just, sorry, off 30 bigs whether he just goes for the 3-bet rip. I guess kings don't mind inducing a 4-bet jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, in spots like this, you always need to remember that these guys might have been playing a lot during these 3 days. Like, they might have some history that might affect the play, but in general, this is a really tough spot with 9s, I think. Since you're not flatting too many higher pairs than this.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Wow.
So,
Piles it
I
in,
don't
and
mind.
our biggest pot so far. Bricks out. Ran with the full double up. First hand, I think the first hand at the table. So we just got down to the final 16. Moves to the table, gets a full double up. And Ollie Shemian left pretty short here, guys. So, significant pot. 17 million chips. Basically close to a sort of final table average stack.
So Ollie down to just 16. Like I said, I remember last year there was some televised PLO tournament at Kings, and Zygmunt was just ruffling around, drinking vodka shots, and then started getting some Donny next to Wild Wild Man. Yeah, I remember covering some of those events with the Finnish Armada showing up in true force in these PLO high roller events, always a good time.
Yeah, I mean, that cash game we had, that's probably one of the wildest cash game that has been televised, since there was like the mandatory drinking involved, like shots every 45 minutes for everybody. So that got a little bit out of line by the end. I can't really remember too many hands, but yeah, Ilari ended up kissing with Sampo, which was kind of weird.
This sounds like, you know, like the latest hybrid sport. You know, you get like biathlon for like skiing and shooting. You've got like boxing, chess. This is the future of the game. It's drinking, poker combined. Just, you've got to be good at both, or you're no good at.
Diego in great shape here to find another double.
Right.
Is it 110 dead
Keeps
already?
going short. Keeps trying to get back in it. Needs to just fade the 10. Does that. Full double. Tree Poker says, Burning Man, they have a poker team. LSD to play. That could be a.
Oh wow!
Imagine there might be something out of turn and whatnot in that one. I don't. Imagine they're working quad.
Chip Daddy Felix with the EP open and the King Queen O. Guess Ace 10 probably just going into the mark against the chip leader from UTG.
Alright, full. Just gonna chill. Oh no, though. Henry, you. Sometimes people attack.
Ace 10 wouldn't be the worst candidate for 3-bet bluff in a spot like this, but
Right.
wouldn't be surprised to see a fold here.
Yeah, you kind of made a great point that these guys have been battling against each other over the last 3 days, but with Rayhan just coming to the table, might be one of those spots that he does just pass up on until he gets comfortable. But I guess he's feeling pretty comfortable after that double up first hand, so he does go for the 3-bet bluff.
Yep.
Guess all the options open for Felix here, right?
Yeah, for sure. The same goes here, like not the worst candidate for 4-bet bluff. King Queen off, one of the better ones, but obviously hard to pull off when there's 16 left in the WPT. But we'll see.
19k locked up, 450 up top. Just playing some really high stake right now. That's the beauty of tournaments. You get to play high stakes.
Yep.
Daniel blinds Jack 10 suit on the button. Arthur lurking behind King in the small blind. You can just see that bubble burst.
Arthur
pay
M
bubble,
is
as it were.
Arthur Martin Roshan, I assume, right?
It is indeed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the Ace King holds here, everyone gonna ladder up to $22,500.
Yeah,
locked up.
And even if it doesn't, Henry, they're pretty close in chips, aren't they? It's going to be a.
Yeah.
Arthur would be very short himself, but we started the evening. We start the day with Arthur doubling up Daniel, but he does eventually knock him out. 6.5 million chips. Daniel the laughing up 18.4, 22.5k now locked up from this $3,200 buy-in. Yeah. So Yoni, what happened to you in this then? That's about 30th, I think. What happened to you? Good stack. We kind of survived. What went on?
Yeah, I was like, I never really had a big stack. I think I peaked at 4.5 million or something. Yeah, I just stayed in there in the middle of the pack and had a bad hour, just went down to 10-15 bigs, and then I can't remember what happened. What was the busting hand? Something pretty standard stuff.
So fairly uneventful.
Yeah, and there was not much to do, so I can't complain. How many players were in this one total? Like 800-ish or?
808.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, nice turnout. Obviously, 2 mil guaranteed.
Yeah.
So that's 6.
I think I've seen Diego Ventura like not too long ago winning one of these events. Am I right?
Yeah, it was one of the last ones we did.
Yeah, he's a very, very talented player, for sure.
Here we go. Was it the CPP main event? Maybe CPP online.
That makes sense. Yeah, CPU in the chat saying CPP main 5k for like 900k.
There we go.
Oh, that's a fun hand going on.
Showing and getting dirty for the small raise off the small stack from the big with the 7-3.
GG's, Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get away from this with an SPR of just over 1. We might just see a shove here.
Hit a 7-3 with some running clubs. Running straight at the bottom. 6 of clubs for sweat.
Oh, there's the club sweat.
Turned a club.
No dice.
Yeah. Quick study, but no more. Out in 15th is Ollie Shemian.
Well, interestingly, James, we lost 2 players from this table.
We're gonna get a transfer.
All right. Down to the final 14. Let's see who's out in. So 15th, Ollie Shemian heading home for 22,500. We actually lost Daniel Colazar on the other table. Am I right in saying that?
No, Daniel lost here with his he shoved the Jack 10 suited into Artel's Ace King.
Okay, right. I got you.
Yeah. Chris Day, good evening, man. How are we doing? Asking how many we played down to today. It is, of course, the final table. So the final 9. 16-handed final table. We're getting there fairly quickly. I mean, these guys are throwing some jabs. You know, there's a lot of money at stake. It's obviously going to slow as we approach the final, albeit we'll of course be short-handed.
Yeah, one would assume. It's another one of those days where you're coming into today. I was expecting a long stint in the commentary, but as you already mentioned, we've lost 9 players, just 5 away from that final table. Spicy turn card.
Very spicy turn card. Got the ace of green. There's 3 greens out there. Yeah, so Yoni, you've got there's somewhere you can kind of go on the golf simulators there and play, I guess. Is that what you're up to, or are you just practicing on a man or something?
Yeah, there's a few like indoor practice facilities, like pretty cool places with the, they got a bar and a few trackmans.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my kind of places to spend some time with my friends.
Yeah. You prepping for Vegas next summer, mate? For all the
exactly,
the golf betting.
Yeah, gotta be ready. Gotta be ready.
Gotta stay sharp.
Stakes are high.
Gotta stay sharp, mate. Listen, I've already promised Dempsey. I'm a complete fish. I haven't played golf in years, but I will happily come and lose. Maybe $1,000 or $2, just for morale.
That's good.
Just get the juices warmed.
I mean, it'd be the sickest hustle ever if, for the last year I've been telling you, James, that, I have never played golf, I'm terrible at golf, and then we just get there, you lay me some ridiculous odds, and I just clean you out. So,
Yeah, be careful, James.
It's remarkable how often I fall for these as well. I'm like, you'd think you'd learn.
Yeah. I might have to hit up my boy George Sanford. I know he knows his way around a golf course before the next trip to Vegas.
I think it was Dan Negreanu who once said it's something along the lines of it's remarkable how I run on test. Like, it's just I've never shot that well before. Oh, really? Yeah. All right, Marcel Koons is the one joining our table. 2 tables of 7 with me left. Taking Daniel's vacant seat. Felix just loving life here, isn't he? 30 million in chips. To cruise along. What's the final table average? Like 18, 19 million, something like that. So, very comfortable spot to be in. And Bart obviously ran with 20 million. Yeah. The boss looks good for being able to apply a lot of pressure as we work our way down towards that final table.
Yeah, for sure. Does have Ryan on his, 3 spots to his left, I guess. Going to tangle too often, but it's going to lose some chips here.
For one threat. Yeah, they are. As much as they are tangling a little bit, but as you say, this is another good spot for Ryan. Top pair versus second pair. Yoni, you must be looking forward to Henry's. I know Henry's very much looking forward to them, but the Millions Online has a whole host of odds. I imagine you're looking forward to getting into some of them.
Yeah, for sure. There's gonna be some nice PLO events. There's never too many PLO events online, so.
Yeah, there's 3 5Ks, and 2 2Ks. So it's gonna be
Yeah, it's surprising that like last year after the PLO Masters online, like there were such nice turnouts for the 10K PLOs, like 60 entries and stuff. So after that, I don't believe there has been 5K or bigger on party. So very good to see him back. Hopefully there will be a lot of people.
Yeah.
Can you just skip the 2K knockout, please? That's the only PLO event I'm thinking of playing. I'd appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Think about it.
Yeah, they'll be on Thursday evenings as the 5K Mars. First one 150k guaranteed, the next 200k guaranteed. All 3 of them will be 1-day events, and then of course the 2Ks are 2-day events. Some of the structures, larger fields. PLO knockouts, Henry. You're gonna be very excited for that one, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I am excited for that one. And obviously, I never really get to.
It looks like it's the knockout. I think Henry falls on the day of the main event day 3. So you may have a tough decision ahead, or you may have to grind on the side at least. So
yeah, I'll just do a Ludo, man. Just grind on the side whilst doing commentary. It's like a 2K knockout. What could go wrong? Felix getting that bluff through, by the way, there, Johnny, as you mentioned, turning the Jack 10 into a bluff.
I think it's a good bluff. Yeah, it's definitely a bluff that, not like it's. Sometimes people just check, try to win with a 10, but if you look at your range, you're probably never having a worse hand than that. And it has some nice blockers to Ryan's calling range, so I actually like the bluff a lot. It's true.
Sit through indeed. What are you giggling at, Demps?
I realized that I just got a message and it was like, sent a picture of himself soaked, and I'm going to retell the story because it's quite an amusing one. So his daughter, her first tooth just fell out. So he was like, right, I need to, tooth fairy needs to visit, drop some money off under the pillow tonight. Because he had no money in the house. He's like, oh, what am I going to do? So he's at the house, pissing down with rain, goes to the cash point just to get a tenner out. He thinks we'll get something to put under there. So she's obviously some quids in. There's like some altercation going on. He doesn't, something's going on. He looks, and next thing you know, he's realised he's stood by a bus stop, a massive puddle in front of him, and a car coming on the street suddenly accelerates and lurches towards him and just absolutely trashes him.
No way, man.
Just the no reason spite for someone on the side of the road. Oh.
But hang on a minute, she's getting 10 quid for a tooth. I was lucky if I got 20p back in the day.
What?
Like,
I mean, I don't think you can get coins in a cash machine, so... Yeah, I mean, she's, like I say, she's lucky her. But he's going to have to learn to keep coins in the house.
Quids in. Quids in.
That's brilliant. What a wonderful evening having. Soaks it to the bone. Some of these guys are going to have a good evening. Someone's going to bag the chip lead. At the moment, Felix the most likely. Ace deuce v ace deuce. Your classic showdown. Same hand versus same hand. Yes, it is the Dan Shack for Tree Poker, the one and only.
Talk about running good, in tournament poker, where you double barrel the ace deuce of clubs on that board and you check river and chop. Must be nice.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. It's not always the all-ins that matter about how good people think it's like if you're running bad in all-ins, that's about it. But there's so many other ways that you can run bad or good in poker.
Yeah, for sure, man. They all add up. All these
for sure
little things in tournaments. God, Yodi, it looks like nothing's going to happen in this hand. We might get the King 3 defend, but let's get the first story of the day out of the way with it. We'll see if we're going to go for a second one.
First story, you mean the... I've been trying to think about the Ilari stories, but nothing comes to my mind. But I'm sure I'll manage to get... I mean, I need to think about the Ilari too. I can't just, say everything
out him like
here. Yeah. I'm trying to think something like that people already might know.
There's got to be some good golf propping betting ones, right? James loves sharing those ones.
I actually went to play a month ago. I went to Valderrama for first time. Have you played there, James?
Oh wow! Yeah. It's one of my favorite courses. It's incredible, isn't it?
Oh really? Yeah, it's just ridiculous how good golf course can be. I mean, yeah, I actually ended up playing like the best 81 I've ever played. We played from the back. So...
Valderrama.
Yeah.
Wow, that's some good.
Whereabouts is that course?
In
Spain.
In Spain.
Okay.
I think it's been ranked #1 in the Europe. I'm not sure like how recently, but it's definitely one of the top courses in Europe.
Yeah, it's an incredible place, just beautiful. It's a course I haven't scored well on, but you just love being there. It's one of the a good golf course. You're playing badly and you're still loving it. It's just really hard to score. It's so difficult. Yeah. That's some shooting, man. That's cool.
Tree Poker in the chat, Johnny saying when Johnny says he played the best 81 of his life, he really means 95. Oh man.
Yeah, I think without the caddy, I would have shot something like 95. But the caddy we had, like, he was working there for 25 years or something, and he just, you know, knew everything about the course, all the greens. Like, just, you know, this is the line, just go for it. And I didn't make a single 3-putt, and yeah, I gotta thank him for such a good result.
That's class. Great. That's some, yeah. I mean, like, I know there's some golfers in the chat, and they'll appreciate that. Some shooting around there. 'Cause I don't even know what my scores have been around there, but they've not been good. Well, it doesn't help though, Yoni. When I'm there, usually we're not exactly to bed early the night before either, so I'm going to use that as an excuse. Holiday in the south of Spain, you tend to get a little bit merry the night before the rounds, but yeah. I've got a friend who's like a +3 handicap, and I don't think he's broken 80 there. And he's played there maybe 4 or 5 times.
Really?
Gives you an idea.
Yeah, I was playing with my buddy who was 0. Like, yeah, I think he's plus around 0 anyway, and I think he shot 86 or something. So I was very happy to beat him.
Yeah. Hopefully that was worth something.
Yeah, it was small stakes, but yeah, at least I got the green fee and dinner and stuff.
There we go.
Go on, humor me. How much is a round of golf there?
It was 400 euros, so not a cheap one.
Yeah, it's a good one if you're playing for the green fee. It's a good one to win.
Yeah.
Pablo wins a, decent sized one.
Yeah. He really is.
16 bigs.
Henry, kind of the blip. He had the couple of double ups against Diego got pretty short, but now right back on 18 million in chips.
Diego could be in trouble here. The Pablo cut-off open.
Yeah.
He does just get out of the way.
Wow, he hits the folds. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm surprised to see an insta-fold. It's definitely a spot where you can consider shoving. But it's with an 8 bigs, with no fold equity pretty much. I'm not sure if it's worth risking your tournament life with ace-8 off. It's close, definitely.
Go on, James. Explain to the man it wasn't an insta-fold.
No,
For the new people here.
Well, yeah, it might have been. I suppose it'd been a tank, wouldn't it? Yeah, of course, with the ace-8. I think maybe he could just go like, I'm shoving this unless he opens. But yeah, I mean, he probably did use some of the time bank there, and it glitches.
Oh, okay.
You know, it glitches with the time bank sometimes. So.
Right.
So I was just looking at the stack sizes here. So 12.5 at the moment. So this is quite a healthy table chip wise. Seeing how Pablo was getting on. Bang on lines.
I can't wait for live PLO cash games to resume and be televised. Some of the boys show up, cause an absolute riot.
Yeah, it's fun to see what happens. I'm really looking forward. Isn't there a WPT running right now? Like, pretty big turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I saw them.
Seminole Hard Rock. I think they were down to the final 6 when we started. Yeah, when we started today's stream.
Yeah, they were down to. Yeah, they were down to 6. It was showing 7 on the website, but it was 6. You're right. Handy Hang was out, so yeah, so 6 left with Francis Margoloni leading. Leone, maybe. There we go. I'm butchering names at left, right, and centre. Butchering names of tournaments we're not even covering, Henry. That it's got. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, man.
Dino saying, evening lads. How's it going, Dino? Saying great commentary. Cheers, mate. Tree Poker said we need Loose Leon back in the mix ASAP. I'm sure there are a few people I've enjoyed battling with Leon over the year. I haven't played with him personally, but I've commentated on a lot of the games that he's played in, and I must say, 2017 Leon compared to late 2019, early 2020, it's a drastic improvement from the man in his
I
his
agree.
PLO game. It's been putting in the work, boys and girls. Maybe not with the solvers, but you know he's been putting in a bit of work.
I know.
He's had a front row seat to how the best play, and he's learnt lessons blood, and they're the best ones to learn. Like, the old saying was, you have to pay to learn. These days you can study, but the old days of pay to learn. He's old school. It's pay to learn. Now he's a force.
This is close for Rayhan, right? No, actually, was it 30? Yeah, 30.
30,
bigs.
just under 30. Quite a punch off the ace-10.
Quite a punt, did you say?
Quite a punchy.
Oh, I was
Quite a
gonna
heavy
say,
shove, right?
I
Just under
heard
30 blinds.
I heard like what a punt too.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was like, really? It's like James, mate.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a
Let me-
big shot.
let me,
I
Henry,
think.
just in case there's any confusion in future, there's no way I'll be describing anything Artem does as punty. I don't have that much confidence in myself, I'm afraid.
That's the
Guy's a
truth.
boss.
Boy, D. Rossi in the chat saying, we want Jack Hardcastle. One of the Barley boys. Don't worry, mate. You let
Barley
Jack get
boys.
on
It's like a-
playing.
That sounds like a really bad boy band, the Barley Boys.
Oh, mate, that's exactly what it was. Don't get me started. All right, we did karaoke. We made our driver hate his life because we just wouldn't stop singing Oasis and Eminem. Oh, you know, when we were out on these day trips.
That's
Just
quite-
imagine
that's quite
like
different,
seven poker players trying to rap to the real Slim Shady. You know, this guy was just hating life, but it had to be done.
Yeah. Guys, we're approaching a break, which means we're approaching a giveaway draw. If you want to have a chance of winning those tickets, fill out the questionnaire on the link in the chat. There are two $11 tickets and one $22 ticket every hour. Fill it out once and you are in for life. So if you've been there before, don't worry about it. Just relax. If you haven't, then quickly fill it out now. It takes a minute. And it may be you. Altor misses this flush. Seems to be a theme for him at the moment, missing flush draws.
It's a pretty bad strategy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right.
Same as losing flips. How have you been flipping so far this year, Johnny? You been winning the flips, the important ones?
Yeah, I've been doing better than average for sure.
All right.
So
Good start to the year.
yeah, that win on Sunday didn't come without winning any flips. I was lucky there, especially in the heads up versus Adrian Mateos. We got it in 40 bigs each. I had ace queen off and he had ace king off and
Oof.
queen high board.
Here it is.
Easy.
The Yoni.
Easy.
Yes, it's a beast, it's tree poker. You're not wrong. Many people argue that point. Diego getting very short here. Sub 10, the big finds a suited king, and Pablo with ace 8 in the small. This may be the end of the road for Diego. He has doubled up twice already through Pablo. Can he do it a third time?
Yeah, I mean, massive favourite here. Like, has 90% versus ace 8 of hearts. King full suited. Although a couple of fours dead.
Needed a 5 on the river. The big Pablo's aces and 8s get the job done. Send Diego out in 14th place.
Yeah,
So we now
another
one table of
world-class
7, one table of
performance.
6.
Yeah. Love a world-class performance from Diego. Just always seems to be running deep in these. One of the OGs of online poker. Well, it's great to have him at one of our feature tables. I'm sure 22,500 will help.
Yeah, Marcel sneaks one through there. Takes us to the break with 13 left, guys. It's moving quite quickly. So don't bar myself, Henry and Yonu. We'll be back in 5 minutes for more of this, the WPT Montreal online main event.
Could he make a three-bet?
He's thinking about it again, isn't it? I don't like it again with this. His hands are so disastrous when it goes
goodness.
wrong, and he has
Stepped
gone
into
for it.
And he made a misstep here, and Ivan is going to love what he sees. Oh,
wow.
Oh, he's got the spade, though. It's
wow. Well, it's looking pretty
river,
good now.
Mr. Ivan.
One card away from taking a big chip lead. Heads up against Sam Trickett.
Sam is thinking, oh, he does it with the
He's
four
okay.
spades.
He played good.
Getting peely here with the Jack-8 suited. Doesn't seem to ever do it. Just get it done. I don't know. Tricky hand.
It's the same in short deck and then hold them right.
It's just tricky hand. Okay, gonna take great card for the Jack-8.
All right, undercard and gives him that gut shot.
And Aaron, non-believer.
Can have a little look. I mean, has two overs, has a gut shot. And wow.
Oh, you got ace jack. Wow.
This is a bizarre line, right? We can't. Carrie says you got ace jack, but does he expect Aaron to check ace jack twice?
It's bizarre hand, bizarre. I didn't
Right.
expect that on
This
that
is it,
card.
man. This is it. You're in Aaron's world right now.
It's sick because it's
I
yeah.
mean,
If Carrie just has 10, you know,
Right.
protecting a 10. I mean, there's this. It's hard for him to have the jack. He checked back the flop.
right. This is one of the best.
Clubs.
This is one of the best hands you can have when he wants to fold it.
Yeah.
I mean, he just can't fold, surely.
Yeah, it doesn't. He's
But
like
then-
he's repping a boat. Like, what boat does he have? I guess
Well,
ace.
there we go. We're not expecting that. I mean, there aren't. What hands does he check call and then lead jam? And Aaron just giving nothing away, isn't he? I mean, try and get a read on that face.
No, he's not giving it up. Not giving much up. Carrie Katz in the tank here. Carrie got a double, held a flip, and now
Could have tens.
would he check
You were
tens
reducing me.
twice? It's an agony.
That's right. It is a weird spot. I mean, at first I was thinking Carrie just has to call, but at the same time, like, what hands does Aaron get to the river with?
Queen King, Ace Queen,
Right.
Ace King.
Bluffing me?
But does he expect him just to bet these on the flop, or
Well,
at
it
least
could be
bet
a
them on a
flop.
turn?
I can't beat a jack, and I can't beat.
Pretty
beat
comfortable
tens.
with my hand at this point.
Wow. Pretty comfortable hand at this point. Wow.
El Jefe is gonna go with the old library. Got a little reaction out of him. This is serious.
I was ecstatic with that river until you jammed. You're only got a pot control on that board. King queen. King queen, you're probably going all in. Flop.
Piecing it together, Jeff.
What would you do with a queen jack? You probably maybe check that for pot control.
But then does he check the
Tens,
turn?
you'd probably induce me. Only thing I can beat is some totally snap decision where you're just bluffing because you have nothing.
I think he's gonna call.
I think it's really tough. Like I say, like you don't expect King Queen to check the flop, ball check the turn. Like
I'm gonna fold.
No, Carrie. My goodness, this guy's savage.
It's a really weird spot.
Uh-oh.
Show the ace.
That's all right.
Yeah, he showed the ace. I mean, you got to show the queen there, right? This the dirty card that shows the queen.
All right, guys, welcome back. WPT Montreal Main Event. Joined once again, of course, by Henry and John. Joining us this evening, late on, as we work our way down the final table of this monstrous main event, guys. Serious spots, I fear. We're playing some high stakes action with 50k up top.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's smashed expectations. Yeah, the 2 mil guaranteed, 2.66 collected. A lot of pressure on these final 12 players. Obviously, 3 away from the final table. Looks like we are going to get a look at the other table. James, is it everyone's been asking in the chat? A couple of faces we haven't seen so far today.
Yeah. My man Chaz up on the button. 10 of spades. Ace in the big. We see Schwippert doing well here, 17.5 back. In there with Pesh knocking around with 9 million. But Andre here, 27 million.
James, just like that, we lost Johnny. Just disappeared into the abyss.
Probably a technical issue. I'm sure we'll get him back in a minute, hopefully.
All right, now, good friend of mine, as we already know, Jack Hardcastle at this table. However, I don't have a piece of him, so I don't know how I really feel about him running deep in this main.
Wow, he's that shallow. He's one of those. He needs to have a piece, otherwise he can't reach his friends. It gets too hard. The jealousy bug turns up, and you're like, oh, I'm out.
I love
we all
him,
know it.
I've never had a piece of Jack in any of his deep runs, and I guess that is mainly my fault. In fact, it's definitely my fault. But yeah, obviously rooting hard for my boy. He had a very good start to the year already. 270k score just 2 weeks ago, I believe. 3 weeks ago. So looking to top that one off. Sat on 40 bigs thereabouts. So still in with a chance to take down his first WPT title. Only 22 years of age as well.
Oh, yeah, I say you need to get top 2 to top the result, but certainly a possibility in here with, well, it says 12 left. So we lost, here we go. We lost Alexander Heers in 13th, also for the 22.5, of course. Following about, so 2 tables of 6 now is the situation. So that must happen just before we got here, because we were in the other table as well. We obviously missed that bust out, but it happened just before we got to this. I'm assuming Andre, he's got 27 million, but who knows?
Yeah, Andre loving life at the moment. Has what, final 6 average? Is it 808 times 200k?
888, I think it was. So yeah, we're looking at about 17-18 million for the final. I see, here we go, I knew this would come. Hurricane Higgins saying what I said earlier about Pesh. You know, like people, if you've got no skin in the game here, Pesh is probably the guy you want to, given what happened with your series thing. You know, this is his little bit of redemption.
It's one of those ones as well where you go 2 years back, or not even 2 years back, a year and a half back, on ways you could get disqualified from a tournament, and I don't think you'd ever think you'd get DQ'd for having COVID back in 2018, 2019. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
A couple of new names in the chat. Mr. Curtin, how's it going, man? Palo official, Hurricane Higgins obviously dropping us that news bomb, and D Rossi saying there's our boy as well. How's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining both myself and James, and hopefully we get Johnny back at some point. Didn't even get to say goodbye.
All right, guys, we did the draw for the giveaways, of course, every hour on the hour. You guys know that. And I have been informed of the winners as we just watched this one play out. Okay, well, it's done with this one, would imagine, with that ace high. So, the $11 tickets go to Weiros and Nzorik. Again, never quite know how to pronounce these. $22 ticket. Dr. Beavis 99. So congratulations, you three. On the hour, every hour.
Michael was saying first title, your boy took down a WPT opener for 100k. Yeah, it would be WPT main titles. Get your name etched onto the Mike Sexton Cup forever. And once you do get on there, you can be like James Dempsey, and as soon as you meet someone, you can take them over to the Mike Sexton Cup and just say, you see that little name on that plaque? Yeah, that's mine. If you're
what more you can do, it's the Tournament of Champions every year. So there's, it's an event that's restricted to WPT champion. You get in there as a former champion, so it does come with some added benefits for sure. It's in the chat. All right, glad there's someone watching right now on one of those giveaways. Chaz popping up with ace 10 here. Has won 300. Yeah, Higgins, I'm with you, but there's a lot at stake. Obviously, I didn't follow it too closely. What happened? The fun, and I was like, this is ludicrous. And I looked and found out the rules that were agreed beforehand. It's the argument's not one I'm going to have, but yeah, I mean, there's all commercial decisions that they decided they needed to go have an event, and it does, yeah, something I would have done, but it's hard to judge without knowing the full facts, and unfortunately, we never will know the full. Personally, I'm happy with just all these great online events, I should say, going off. Henry, it's enough to keep everyone entertained, I feel, at the moment.
Chris asking if we played. We did not.
Big turn for Chaz. Trip 10's now to go with the nut flush draw. He's going to slip it on over to the chip leader once more. Aha! There he is.
There he is.
Johnny reappears. This is by magic.
I have no clue what happened. My computer just froze.
All been there, man. All been there. It wouldn't be a Party Poker TV stream without some tech issues, whether it's me, James, or whoever's joining us in the booth.
All right. Did I miss something? Some new faces at the table, at least.
We switched table. Andre chips this one. That's all there is to say so far, really. Chaz Chatter winning that pot. Schwip with plenty. Boy Jack, one of the Barley boys, in the mix, and of course Pesh. Points to prove.
Johnny, have you had any of those Asian grindhouse adventures before, where you and the boys just pack a couple of suitcases and hop on a 16-hour flight to somewhere?
Yeah, we've made it a few times. Always fun. It's been a while from the last time, so yeah, looking forward to do it again.
Alright, so what's been your favorite spot to go to? I guess in terms of time zone, Central and South America always, the GTO spots to head to.
We haven't, our crew haven't played that much MTTs, so we usually go to Thailand, which is very good destination. But yeah, if you want to play tournaments, it's probably not the place to go.
Yeah,
but yeah, sure. I have never actually I see people usually go to Mexico or somewhere, but I actually haven't been there ever.
I've got a couple of friends out in Thailand at the moment. They've basically been out there since we left Bali, I believe, which was like 14 months ago. Just kind of got stuck there and decided, like, what else can we do? Might as well just, continue grinding online.
Yeah, Thailand is one of my favorite places for sure. Lots of good golf courses, pretty cheap, good food, nice climate.
Looks like Jack's going to take this one down uncontested.
Yeah, I should hope so.
I mean, if it was Michael Adamo in the big blind, then, we'd potentially see a flop, but...
Right. Someone in the chat asking, has Ollie Shemian busted? Yes, he did. He came 15th, I'm afraid. Jack does pop it up, and this will be the end of the hand. Chance of a waterfall here. Of course, I'm not saying he may just didn't think that long there, but with 12 left, guys, we are going to start to see some stuff in the terms of stall and whatnot as we work our way down to this final table. We're on a pay bubble as it is anyway. 12th, 22 and a half. 11th will be 28, and then of course 11th and 10th the same, but the first payout on the final table was 37,000, so the jumps are getting fairly meaningful now. So naturally we're going to some fun and games going well. Here could be a potential spot for your boy Henry. Got nice head diamonds, there's a raise in front of him. Man Kings.
I think all the options are open here. 3-bet fold can flat in position. That obviously opens up the door for squeezes from Charles or Andre that have both. Oh no, sorry, Charles doesn't have Jan covered, but Andre could get a bit creative. As we can see, that's not going to be the case. Always going to stay professional and remain impartial, James.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Come on. The people know. People know you've got a boy in the mix. Not much of a pop this one though. If I action 764.
It's interesting, Yoni, that you're saying when you go to these, these destinations that you're not playing MTTs that much, and then obviously you've been grinding MTTs. Do you mean just like your group when you do decide to go away, you're just mainly grinding cash games, or do you always just jump in for these larger online MTT series?
Yeah, like nowadays I mainly play on Sundays, so there's very rare weekdays that I play besides Sundays. Obviously when there's like the big online series, I might play like 3 days a week, but that's about it. Yeah, I mentioned like so yeah, it's the PLO group that we usually travel with, so yeah, mainly cash game guys, and yeah, that's why we haven't really thought about the time zone that much.
That makes sense. Is that like Ula Kanoya and Veronen, so some of the Finnish Armada? You guys play PLO cash games?
Yeah, Varonen, yeah, he's Finnish, but he's not from Helsinki, so
okay,
not kind of part of our crew, but yeah, we're friends still. What was the first name?
Of the other guy, Lari Veronen and. Yeah, and Isaki Yulakanoya.
Oh yeah, Isaki. Yeah, he's one of our guys. Very good PLO player.
Yeah, I'm assuming at the moment all of the high stakes PLO games have been pretty good with all the new Bitcoin millionaires over the last 2 months or so.
Yeah, there's been some wild sessions. It's not like running all day, like 7 days a week, but when there's been action, there's been some pretty wild action.
Nice.
Speaking of action, Chaz popping up ace king. Schwipper's open. Taking up to 2 mil. Just going for the 3x here.
Claude 350, a big fan of you growing out the hair. I wish I could pull that off. What was that, Debs? You stuttered there for a second.
Yeah, I'm leaving this debate be.
Yeah, sorry, still no good Ilari story. I kind of like have one, but it's not that fun. Like, I heard about you talking about Phil Ivey and some massage story earlier.
Yeah.
And that reminded me about Ilari in EPT Barcelona like 7 years ago. When he had, I think he had 8 hours non-stop massage on day 1, and then he made it again on day 2. So he spent like, I believe it was 5k euros or something like that in the massage during the day 1 and day 2, and then he got moved to the TV table, and he was super annoyed that the masseuse girls were not allowed to come to the TV table, and he asked if he could be removed from the TV table to keep going with the massage, but that was not possible, and the streak was over.
Madness.
Doing a buy-in
5k
on
for a
massages.
16-hour massage. Wow, potential big pot here, by the way.
Ooh.
Kings
Yeah.
for Andre, jacks
Kings,
for
jacks,
Jan.
eights.
I think Jack most likely gets out of the way, right? If this goes 3-bet
Yeah.
on the button.
I mean, Jack
Jan
might
flats,
be in trouble
however.
if Chan decides
Yeah,
to
if Jan
flat.
flats, then
Yeah. Yeah, if
Jamie
Jan
X coming in the
flats.
chat. No way Jack doesn't win this comp. Well, I can see a way here he might win the comp. It's very hand, but let's see how it plays it.
It's definitely an
Does
interesting
flat.
spot. I kind of like the small ball approach. Just flat jacks. I mean, it's going to be pretty annoying spot when facing a 4-bet. Playing 60 bigs deep.
Jack could be in trouble here. 31.5 bigs. Chip
Yeah, I
leader
wouldn't
versus
mind
second in
ripping it in.
chips. Does go, well, almost ripping it in. Putting in 85% of his stack.
The 8's alive, Henry. That's what I'm going to say.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Clubs would be live as well. Although a few of them dead already. 12 left. Talk about biggest spots of
Jan's going to do. Yeah, and like you were saying there, Jan, but small ball. This is the other benefit. He's obviously thinking here, lovely spot to call the squeeze, and then in a second see Andre play and think, oh, actually, I'm going to just be able to get away from this.
Wow.
Do the
What does
minimal
Jan
amount.
do here? 60 bigs effective. You think Jan folds?
I think this
Does he not?
turns to be a fold, but very, very tough one.
Wow, he pulls it off. Biggest pot of the tournament so far, 12 left. The WPT Montreal Main.
Comfortably the biggest pot.
Jack didn't
Man,
want
you
to
look
see
back at
this happen. Wow.
Well, he doesn't mind that
Spikes.
flop.
Spikes the 8, fades the 9, Jack or King on the run out. Gets a triple up to 30 mil. Wow, Schwipper's out. And you're on the side there, then it's probably like a break-even scenario.
Oh, man. I've been known for sun running, you know, from my friends. I think Jack has surpassed me in the last 6 months or so. I mean, you look back at your careers, you look back at these, you know, deep runs over the years, and you find a spot like that, and yeah, 12 left finds the triple, 450k up top.
I was just looking there. That pot was just under 60 million, and there's 177 million in play. Idea of just how significant that was. Obviously, it didn't all go to the same home. Eight's spiking, but
wow, we might see some fireworks here.
Yikes! Top two for top pair. Marcel with a gutter. Rain is going to raise on the flop. Next Marcel's a bit easier.
Does Arthur just jam here, or does he ever call with the ace of hearts in his hand?
I think we're gonna see a call.
Yeah.
I don't think shoving accomplishes that much. Like, he's never gonna get raise called by ace 9 there. And I think it's a texture where the button is probably not raising like draws that often, so I think calling is the way to go.
SPR Leicester, what I'm assuming the only sizing we go for here is putting Arthur, yeah, I mean, effectively all in here. 5.1 into 6, and wow. Okay.
It's away.
Alright, boys and girls. Arthur dodging bullets, baby. Not quite the bullets, but some of us go broke there in that spot.
Yeah, it's a consideration for sure. Wait, so a chance to do the opposite hand. Oh no. Shag attack. 3-betting the queen 10 of hearts and putting the pressure back on Pablo. I was going to say Arthur was going to see a flop here. Ace high, the ace high, and we could see some stuff, but it's Shaq who takes this one down pre-flop with a 3-bet.
He's 4-suited there, one of the primary 4-bet bluff candidates, but decides to skip it.
Yeah, Dan Shack's a hard man to 4-bet bluff because he doesn't 3-bet that often. I mean, obviously we saw that one there was light, but I was quite surprised to see it.
Right.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Ace 9 v Ace 9. A couple of falls in the big for Felix. Getting spicy now, guys. 11 left, 28k locked. Our next jump is at the final 9. Should be 37k. That's what we're playing, Stephen.
Tree Poker, I just saw Ryan Reese tweet about GameStop. Tree Poker coming in saying it's at 2:30 after hours. Well, Ryan Reese just put out a tweet as well.
We were chatting briefly about it last night, Henry, weren't we? It's just being absurd. I mean, it's like
madness.
It's just insane. It like just crashed and then now way back up again.
Rayan did call it off there. Obviously, ended up chopping Ace 9 versus Ace 9. Scanning around the table, I guess we see the Pablo defend with the Queen 7 suited. Dominated. And with the Ace Queen of Hearts, doesn't want to see a Queen high flop. Only one Queen left in the deck. How about middle pair and 2 clubs, boys and girls?
How are we doing? Into deep. Good evening. Ryan Seabert going to get some trouble because Pablo has flopped gin and turns even more gin, picking up the clubs.
What's up, Into Deeps, and what up, fellas? How's it going? Is everyone in the chat? Appreciate you guys joining us. I forgot what day it is today. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah. Is you joining us in Europe? Pretty natural double barrel here, Johnny, for Rayan on the King of Clubs turn. See, wanted to apply a ton of pressure on, you know, the 7x, 3x.
Yeah, he definitely wants to be putting a lot of pressure on big blind's range, but in general, like attacking these flush boards versus like under the gun versus big blind is questionable, since like big blind is gonna have so much more suited stuff and so many more flushes than us as an under the gun. But yeah, given its FD bubble, I kind of see a lot of merits to double barrel too. It's kind of interesting lead here, like.
You're not a fan of the block sizing on the river?
No, I didn't say that. I'm like, it's interesting to see this check call lead line here, but yeah, I don't say I don't like it. It's interesting to see and probably a good play.
Haraku asking, is the final going to be 10-handed? No, my man. 9-handed. The odd numbers. So we still have 2 players to lose till we finish for the day. Then they and we will be back tomorrow for the final table. With 448k up top. We're live, hey guys. Seems like every week there's just some massive prize pools being contested for online.
Yeah, it's been good times for online poker.
Yeah, obviously the last year it's been insane. Johnny, I was saying to James, I mention it all the time. We were in the Czech Republic for WPT at King's in February last year, and we were talking about WPT Barcelona, which is scheduled for April. We're like, yeah, you know, good luck, mate. You know, I'll see you in a month and a half, 2 months, and then yeah, everything just obviously closed down, and then we had this just insane series. I mean, it seems like every 2 weeks there's just a massive online series running.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the evidence in Florida is the demand is there, it's pent up. People want to get back. I felt a lot of action in the near future.
Lots asking a strange question, saying how many people could fit at one table with one deck of cards. Well, 3 burnt cards, 5 community cards, 52 minus 8 equals 44 divided by 2. You could have a 22-handed table if you really wanted to. I'm not sure what the under the gun opening range would look like in that table. I got a feeling it would be Kings plus, but there you go, man. If you want to organize that, I'm sure you'll get some of the old crossword grinders jumping into that one. The guys that are always sat on seat 9, their crossword and their pen. You already know that they're going to fold before the dealers finish dealing.
Funny, like every
entire
would be a 1 out. Every river would be a 1 out, wouldn't it? Be the last card off the deck in the deck. The card.
Yeah.
Like, you could like, what did everyone have? What did everyone know?
Yeah, good luck solving that one, mate.
Yeah.
Marcel,
you
with
never know,
the
that
stop
might
and
be
go
a
there.
format one day. Oh man. Maybe we should suggest that to Party Poker, be the first one in the market to have that 22-handed no limit.
I've played 12-handed Hold'em before. It's the most I've ever played.
Oh my god, that would be like watching paint dry. Jesus.
No, I mean, think logically, Henry, why we might have added seats to the game. Might work backwards. If you're playing a game that's 9-handed and suddenly you get 10-handed, it's usually for a specific reason. If you then make it 11 and then 12, the game is pretty good. You don't...
I'd rather walk on Lego than play 12-handed Hold'em, mate.
What if you've got like the absolute superstars who are made 10, 11, 12? You want to be in there.
Yeah, I guess. Oh boy.
You just need
GG's Arthur. Valiant effort, mate. Another deep run, but you're going home in 11th.
That's brutal.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
I think Tree is trying to bait you to question. Like about 6 max PLO being too slow. This is trying to hit you guys where it hurts. With a sneaky check behind. Club on the river. Here's the jack.
I think Arthur probably goes to decides to block bet this 10 high flush.
This could work out nicely, given the situation he was dealt into on the top. Does check.
I guess checking also makes sense, like induce some bluffs from hands like ace-5 and stuff.
This one not a bluff though. The Shack sending Marty Roshan to the rail in 11, which means, guys, we are now on the final table bubble. 2 tables of 5.
Yeah, I'd really like to see. I mean, I say I'd like to see Felix, really go after this, but in reality, he doesn't get to go after Dan and Rayhan that much. Am I right in saying that, Yodi? Like, we can't just be, ape styles aggro against Shack Attack and Rayhan here. They can obviously do serious damage to our stack.
Yeah, I mean, difference in the stacks is not that big that I would probably go super crazy, since like losing 3 mil to one of these guys is gonna cost you the chip lead.
Yeah, for sure. So 9k ladder. Obviously, always nice to add a WPT main final table to your resume. One of these final 10 players going to be going home in 10th. I don't know. I've never been there myself, Yoni. I've never really FT bubbled a big tournament. I normally just either like finish top 3 or I bust in 110th. So it's not a spot I've been in, but I can imagine it's pretty painful.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
fun.
Like, yeah, when you're there at 10 left, you're not too many flips away from like lifting the trophy, and yeah, it hurts for sure to bubble a big final like this.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun.
Oh, this could be a fun one.
Certainly could. Being second pair, Pablo, the open ender over, and the diamond. .2 in the pot. Yeah, I mean, Marcel here is obviously still 20 bigs. We're playing 5-handed. Not entirely sure this is the table, but I assume there's going to be a couple of short stacks. But this could go a while with, the fact it's the front tail bubble and players are pretty deep. At the same time, we know we saw it last. You just get the hands full the right way, and some aggressive players get some big hands. Next thing you know, this could be off.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, running into Michael Adamo with ace king, ace queen, 30 bigs effective is the same as running into Tom Dwan with aces when you're at 300 bigs deep in a high stakes cash game. It's just pretty brutal, and that was a sick super high roller final table performance from Michael yesterday.
It certainly was. Nice to fill out that form, fill out the questionnaire. Oh, that's really Felix. Fill out that form if you want to have a chance of winning our giveaways. $2 tickets, one $22 ticket every hour giveaway on this. But you must fill out that form. If you've done it once, you're for life.
Quinn Spy asking you, Johnny, what do you think everyone's drinking at the moment? And these final 10 players, are they on the stay hydrated water grind, or are there some big glasses of vino and whiskey in there?
I guess it's water and some green tea, maybe some energy drinks. But I mean, you never know. There's not any Finns in the field, so I wouldn't go. I wouldn't think there's any beer or wine involved.
The green tea grind. What a bunch of nits.
I mean, the whole point of playing online is just to sit there with a bottle of red, surely. While away a couple of hours. Like, this is just the civilized way to do things. I guess maybe with $500,000 up top, we start to take it a bit more seriously.
Quidspy also making me just read out the whole question and saying, Henry, ask Johnny, do you think everyone has ordered their silver gold hats in case they make the final 3 tomorrow? Johnny, over to you, mate. I have no idea what he's talking about. All the silver gold hats.
Yeah, that's WPT Barcelona 2013.
Okay.
When we made the final 3 with Ilari and Nikolai Pobol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, during the dinner break we bought some hats from the hat guy from the beach. Everybody probably who's been in Barcelona knows the guy. So yeah, once we got back from the dinner break, we decided it's funny to wear some hats, and I was chip leading, so I wear the golden hat, and Ilari was second, so he had the silver, and then we had like the bronze hat for the Belarusian guy, but he wasn't in the mood for wearing that, so it was just a joke between me and Ilari. and it didn't end up too well since like I got busted third and Ilari second, and the Belarusian won the whole thing.
No
so
way.
yeah, we had a good time.
Did you give him the golden hat?
Yeah, we tried to offer him once he took the chip lead, but he declined. But yeah, I still have the golden hat, just in case I make some nice final table live.
Nice. Got to keep the hat just in case.
Yeah.
Ryan taking it upstairs here. Queen kicker. Felix with some backdoors. But let's play this against the Rays.
Yeah, some nice backdoor potential with the a7, but it's very hard to continue without the position. As PLO players, Henry, we always aware of the backdoor potential, right?
Oh, tell me about it. James is always saying I'm way too ambitious to play Hold'em because, you know, you see the King 5-6 rainbow board with one club. You've got a7 of clubs. It's the absolute nuts, mate. Like, see you at the river. Strap yourselves in, boys and girls.
It's just tough when they raise you. Suddenly, you have to have a bit of pinch of realism.
Yeah.
Maybe folding the ace deuce suited, you know, because of reverse implied odds if we do get the 4-3 run out, mate, but not folding the a7. Mike was saying, I remember Feraldo brought the same hats for Warbs, the FT, in the EPT as well. Yeah, there's been some phenomenal Chris Moorman, Feraldo, Ludo live FTs where the rail has just been warned on several occasions that if they don't keep quiet, they're going to get sent back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
Man, those days will be with us again soon. The boozy rails, someone on the table. It's good fun. I mean, it's bad watching, you can't see the cards. Not being able to see anything, just sitting on a rail, drinking, cheering on a friend, making a lot of money. Ooh, Ryan firing at this flop. Pablo peels and misses on the round. Is ahead with this jack high. Little does he know that last bet was a value bet.
Yeah, another quote in the chat. I think we were there together, Yoni, for this one. Position is more important in PLO than no limit hold'em. Mike Pence. I remember that one as well. Classic quote. I think Obama said something similar as well a few years back.
Go barrel number 2.
Reverse implied.
Ryan really putting it on here. He's going to block in some of the guts.
Nice barrel there with the high. Takes down the pot.
Yeah, just let's go. Ryan's trying to stamp some authority on this table.
Tree saying if you have 2 backdoor flush draws on the flop in PLO, you're jamming 100% of the time. I mean, of course, mate. You're turning a flush draw 50% of the time. How are we not sticking around? Come on, dude.
Well, let's open that really big. 3x open, right?
Yeah, 3.3x.
2 jacks. Hey man, they're hard to play. We saw it earlier. Yeesh, just a famous hand. 2 jacks, man. Just pop it up.
I think we might see a 3-bet fold from the small blind with ace-9 off.
I'm just looking at this last couple of cashes at like Kings and some smaller events, so I just got curious because I saw that race size. Marcel who's in here on satellite, in which case this is a fantastic return already, let alone heading towards the final table.
Yep.
Who's that, Marcel?
Yeah, I mean, again, this feels bad. I've only gone to look at their result because I've seen them open to 3.3x for 2 jacks, which is obviously not something we expect to see. So my suspicions were raised as, all right, Pablo drops the hammer here. Button versus small. 2 7s. Pair's a pair, mate. Let's go.
I think well played hand by both guys.
Felix versus Shaq by the looks of things. Guess both options are fine, right? Like 3-bet. Can also just flat.
Yeah, either way, like, given the stacks are, I think playing with lower variance and just flatting is probably optimal. Wow.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Aces up. Felix the nuts. And it's going to get deeper Shaq. His bet close to pot. Shaq need to just find the call here, but he just like to play hands pretty. Oh my word! Felix,
Okay,
Felix, you are desperate.
Just drilling the old case jack. 3 outs once, why not?
Yikes.
Felix just bombs this as well, right? And then we just get the bad news.
I mean, Shaq's got what, 2x pot. It's going to be some very bad. He goes 4.5 mil. Met with an all-in, and then a really tough decision. I say a tough decision. All due respect to Dan, don't think, just as knowing Dan Shaq as I do, it just doesn't have a bluff.
Yeah, I think it's a spot where Dan kind of has to play pretty honest, and I don't think Felix is expecting any bluffs in this spot, and finds a fold with the king queen pretty fast. Unlucky there,
pretty
for Felix.
Brutal.
Pretty sick hand.
There's a small chance we might see an all-in and a call here.
Joey Pan saying solid fold.
Short
I agree.
16 big, stays 4 off. Wouldn't be the worst shove in the world. Where's a big stack open button? We'll see.
Yeah, maybe even more so now with the 2.5x open. See.
Yeah.
That's
a fold.
Yeah, I was thinking you guys, this is a possibility, but again, if my suspicions are right, then I think we'll probably see Marcel perhaps play a little more snug with 10 left than normal. If my hunches are right, that maybe in a satellite.
Are there any short stacks in the other table?
Pesh is relatively short, about 20-25 bigs on the outer table, so keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone in the chat saying about the fold again. It just comes down to as Yoni says, there's just not. It's just half of that person's bluff, but especially we know Shaq he's more the kind of fit and fold type rather than the check rip rivers down left and the WPT type as a bluff. I mean, sure, once in a while it could be a mistake, but I think it's right to fold. The scenario just seems so good, didn't it, guys? He's bet the flop, then bing the turn. Here we go. You get Shaq calling. You think happy days.
A couple of people in the chat asking what do we know about Felix High Stakes Pro ? Well, it's got an Austrian flag. That's all you need to know.
What's the last name?
Schultz. Of the leader, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with the chip leader with about that stacked.
Annoying. Oh, I was about to say annoying spot for Pablo. Most likely going to call one with King High on the ace 6-6. Blind versus blind. Apparently Felix grinding mostly mid-stakes online and satted his way into this one for $22, if that's true.
Yeah, that's class.
Pretty sick. We always tend to get these stories in these big WPT mains.
Yeah, that's the beauty, as we were saying earlier, about the party satellites. Very doable.
Had a similar story with the WPT knockout back in September.
Yeah,
that we covered September, October.
Yeah, the WPT Online whole festival when your man's decided to play the knockout one. And I thought that's the best chance of getting a return is just gonna knock one person out. Ends up winning the whole tournament.
400 bags later, must be nice.
Dang, it's funny you said that. I did exactly the same thing. Googled Felix and looks like you'd expect an Austrian or German poker player to look like. It's very true.
Potential check raise spot here for Shaq attack. What are your thoughts, Yodi, when Pablo's opening off of, 30, 34 effective at the start of the hand? Maybe too shallow to check raise? He does go for the check raise.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
It's interesting.
Sounds getting fruity.
It's a texture that works better for Daniel's big stack defending range for sure than Pablo's 30 bigs raising range. So I would be careful with the C bets there and probably try to even check back and realize the King 10. But yeah, nice check raise there by Dan.
Pablo obviously no stranger to big FTs, but It's being chipped away at here. Had about 14, 15 mil at one point. Down to sub 30. Not been the best hour and a half for him.
Yeah.
Three-way to the flop. King Jack 4. Shaq from the small. 10 has Gutshot to Broadway. So 2 from the big blind. Felix the opener in second pair. Betting over pot.
Wow.
Pablo from under the gun popping up ace-9 Rayan with a hit. Felix is going to get to 19 the flop, 10-9 of diamonds. It feels like travesty when it happens. When we get low guys, then you can just flick in the cold call from the big with a hand like this, the equivalent hands. Dang, where's Dan playing from? Yeah, he is playing from Canada in the lobby. Probably flew to Montreal for the full immersion. I like it. Just getting the spirit.
Yoni, you know Runchucks, right? You know Runchucks?
Yeah, I know the
battled with
screen
him?
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in
just-
the days.
Yeah, for sure. It's just I was meant to have a call with him, and he said, "How about Saturday?" And I was like, I can't. I'm moving to a different Airbnb. Mainly because we flew to Costa Rica and we booked this place, and it's a complete tourist trap, man. Just like full of rich American tourists. Everything's like 3x the price of Europe, and I'm like, where on earth are we right now? You know, it's just crazy, absolutely crazy. Bunch of bobs everywhere. Well, saying hi. How do the giveaways work? Sorry, James. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah, it was just I was saying is if you filled in the Q&A, that's what you have to do, and then you have to just get lucky. Simple as that. Every hour we give away 22 $11 tickets, and once you fill out that form, that's it. You're done. That's what you have to do. It's over to your chance now. You have to run like Henry.
RNG, boys and girls.
Does Runchucks still play a lot, or retired, or?
I believe he still plays a lot. I know him and Venny have been battling in some like three-handed, four-handed games with other players. I think he took a bit of time off. I know he wanted to take a break. Spoke about that on a couple of streams, but I think he's back in the mix now.
Okay.
Top and bottom for Rayhan. He's queen, and gut shot to Broadway for Felix.
J-Rec asking also the shortest. Yeah, pretty much. He is pretty similar to Pesh and Jacob on the other table. They're all around the 20 big mark, although the blind tab just crept to 175, 350 this hand, so for a small pinch. Ran. Check raising kings and deuces on this rainbow flop. Felix with a hand that's going to want to continue. Is it not? The gut shot and the overcards. And of course, the nut ace high. 7 times on the turn, no help. And ran going a lot bigger this 6 million. Surely be enough to dissuade Felix's ace high.
Yeah, see, I'm an absolute mindset pigeon, and I just like get check raise on this board after opening button with ace queen. I just like tilt it off. It's an absolute mindset pigeon. Just like ridiculous. King Jack deuce said, "You're check raising me, mate. Grow up."
Right. Yeah. The same
Sometimes you
feeling
just
in
gotta believe.
Halo when you raise
Yeah.
and there's some like ace 7 deuce rainbow and somebody from the big blind check raises you. You're like,
Dude, don't. or like a 3-bet pot as well. You get check raised on the flop. You're just like, grow up, mate. All right. Stop it.
Shaq with King 9 in the small, Marcel ace 7 in the big, but it is Rayan going to jump on it with the 8-3 offsuit, guys. Here we go. So, well, gets the fold from the ace 7, but perhaps vindicating the open guys and confirming our sort of all my suspicions of Marcel. That obviously really desperate just to try and get to this final table and get some ladders. Folding ace 7 to a button open.
Beast Poker said, "You guys are going full nerd rage. I love it, mate. Honestly, you get check raised on the ace 7 deuce rainbow in like a 3-bet pot. Just always roll your eyes, shake your head, and you're like, all right, mate. GG's. Well played."
yeah, do some notes, tag the guy.
Mr. Jack
I
Hardcastle
see a name in the chat there,
so-
Henry.
Yeah, there it is. And grow up. You grow up, mate. You absolute sun runner. Any 8s about? Jesus.
Barley Boys, eh? I want to see what would like the album artwork look like for the Barley Boys. Someone's got to mock that up. Anyone in the group got good Photoshop skills, Henry? I want to see some like promos for the Barley Boys.
Not gonna happen, mate.
I mean, first of all, it's got to be you guys running in the background. I mean, that's just a given. And take it from there. Someone in the chat's got to have all the time in the world in their hands and do this before tomorrow.
Oh, you want like a Photoshop with all of our faces on it?
I want yeah, someone just design I want some promo material for the Barley Boys, you know? I don't know what I want, but it's something there. Like, we're gonna launch this band.
Jack saying that was a nice one of Henry Chundering. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, that video's golden. Just stop the taxi driver on the highway. I'm like, you need to pull over, mate. It's like, yeah, no worries.
I mean, okay, look, guys, Marcel doing some weird stuff. 7 versus the button raise. Now just open ripping a7 from under the gun. Some live like that.
I don't think that's too bad. I think you actually get some better hands to fold. Ace 8, Ace 9, obviously. Maybe some Ace 10.
It was more the sort of in comparison to A7, but gonna get double up here most likely. I mean, Ace Jack soon open. Finds Ace King in the big.
Yeah,
this is one of these though, guys.
Watching with hands, it's not
if you've been watching the stream, fold the Ace Jack, right? But if you haven't been watching, then
Yeah, it's a stop call.
Pablo been watching?
Really
That's the
gripped
question.
on Pablo. Oh,
Don't think he
apparently not.
has because the calls are off.
Yeah.
What? Any kings about for Marcel up to 14 million of chips. Pablo down to dust. 1.3 million, less than 5 blinds.
Jeez. I mean, the spin of all spins, potentially.
I mean, why not?
Any daily quads.
Not that unreasonable. He's been up and down. He was battling with Diego earlier. Yeah, there's a case in point, and if you're ever in the spot, guys, I think all of you watching would know that you'd want to fold that to Marcel from what we've seen so far. And click the call button.
I mean, 5-handed, 18 bigs. You got Ace Jack suited. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, play 7
what are you
Henry in the
calling
big against the button raise. I mean, it's just the guy has it. Looking like it's. What's going on here? All right, I'm gonna pop it up. Maybe save Pablo here because Pablo was.
If Felix flats, does Pablo just like have to come along? 3 bigs after putting in 1 big blind, potential to triple up.
Good question.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, I was gonna say.
Or then he can just fold and hope that Felix and Ryan collide and will somehow pick the final table. It's close. Like the price is such good, and
I mean the hand's so bad.
I would definitely call hand like 6-7 off here, but 7-4 off. Gross. Can't be that big of a difference.
Well, cool. Stars and flops are 7. Assuming this is a stop and go for 500k. I assume as well it'll be 2 calls round with ace-high and backdoor clubs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Felix checks, Pablo jams.
I was going to say, just Felix lead. Still at this price. I mean, Ryan's hand is.
Alright, boys and girls, Pablo going to need a 7 or a 4. As he will be our final table bubble boy. Well,
7 now,
down
Henry.
to just 2 ounce.
Unless Ryan somehow, plats Felix off his pot.
Right.
There's a chance.
You never know.
Yeah, he's like there's a 1/3 of a big blind side pot, and it just hits him with the 4 mil bet.
C checks 3. Everyone's happy to get to the final, surely. And it does. On the end. This is the end of Pablo. Unless EGS Ryan does something crazy, but what is minuscule.
Yeah, looks like we've got quite the treat for tomorrow, James. I mean, star-studded final table, WPT title up for grabs, as well as 450k.
And here it is. Here the check sees Pablo out in 10th, picking up 8. How the final 9 line up tomorrow. Dan Shaq, Ren Shamas, both with just 30 minutes. In fact, Andre right where they're with them. Pretty tight at the top. Henry, your boy Jack and 4th.
He's there, man. He's there. See what he can do tomorrow. Hopefully he pieces them up, as he would like to say. Chaz
Chatter, one of the UK old schools. The average, I think, average around 18 million for this final. So it's fairly bunched. Obviously, you've got Pesh, J-Cool, Marcel, a little bit less, but I mean, Felix doubles up and he's comfortably chip leader, reasonable as well. So
yeah,
there's there's gonna be some interesting play tomorrow.
Yeah, I think a long FT on your hands. Also, interestingly, with the ICM dynamic, having Pesh that short, yeah, Charles, Jack, Felix, Marcel, all going to be in a bit of a cage.
Yeah, it's going to be actual tomorrow. It's going to be quite important, I think, in the stacks like this. But I mean, that's tomorrow's concern. And today is in the books. Yoni, my man, thanks for coming along. Thanks for helping out, as always.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Nice
That's
to hear
fun.
what's going on with you, and I guess we'll see you in the mix in some of the events in the Millions Online next month.
Apart
Yeah,
from the
hopefully
2K
I'll make
knockout.
them.
Apart from the 2K knockout, he's
I'll-
going to be in everything
I'll see you
else
there,
bar that. See you there, mate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks to Yoni. Thanks to all of you guys for watching, as always. Thanks, of course, as well. How could I forget? Ike was with us earlier once. And, of course, my man Henry joining me. We'll be back tomorrow, guys, for the finals time. Same place. WPT Montreal Online Main Event Final Table. It's set. It's off tomorrow, 7:30 UK time. Good night.